What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies with you. Not just any episode, episode 50. Thank you for joining us for this one. We're excited to talk about some stuff. We have a little bit of a surprise segment coming up, and we hope it'll make you think about your favorite stuff as well. No, that was a weird grunt from you, Roger. All right.
PCP 50, baby.
PCP, get on a shirt.
This-
PCP 50.
PCP 50.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
This is
Just get
episode 50, recorded on Sunday,
October
October 5th, 2025, to get posted to podcast services on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, to the usual spots: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and also YouTube. If you're listening to us on an audio-only version, feel free to check us out on YouTube as well. You can watch full episodes or just segments. We always have them time-coded out. We try to snip out interesting stuff. Please like and subscribe. It helps us very much in the long run. However you choose to enjoy us. As always, thank you very much.
The date is 10/5, and 10 times 5 is 50, and it's the 50th episode. Holy crap. It was meant to be.
That's where on the YouTube short, it would have all those. It was like the meme where all those numbers and things are flying around for 2
Well,
seconds.
it's like, it reminds me of the movie 23, where everything how Jim Carrey was going insane because of the number 23.
I remember that movie. That movie,
That movie
sucked.
wasn't well.
Yeah,
That movie
sucks.
sucked. Yeah.
sucks.
I was gonna say it in a more like gentle fashion. Oh, I remember the movie wasn't received well. Roger's like, oh, the movie sucks. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
did,
you pick
though.
a movie, I'll just tell you if it sucks or not.
Yeah.
It's easy to do.
What's going on today, boys? How are we today?
What is going on?
Good. I mean, it's good for me.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah.
for me. Everything's good.
So, yeah, I had a good
Everything's
weekend.
chilling.
Good.
I returned back to my college stomping grounds for the first time
Nice.
in 15 to 20 years
All
this
right.
past weekend. Yeah, it was interesting.
Why'd you wait so long?
What do I need to go back for?
I mean, you got shit going on there that you gotta stay gone for a little while for.
yeah,
Statute of limitations stuff.
Yeah,
you
it's
know what I
finally
mean?
ran out. I don't know. So
my
like,
God.
I went back when it was homecoming.
Yeah.
So I went back to the stadium that didn't exist when I was on campus. So
Okay.
that was different. Akron a few years ago built themselves a new
Mhm.
facility right on campus, which was nice. The old one was like a 15-minute ride away. So the old Akron Rubber Bowl was where they used to play.
The Rubber Bowl.
Oh yeah, man, that was a big deal. That was a big deal. It was like built into a hillside, just a giant horseshoe-shaped thing, and
Hell yeah.
it was a piece of shit. So,
God
'Cause, like,
damn.
my highlight of the Rubber Bowl was, and this, if anybody's a football person, was Akron is a small school, obviously plays in the MAC. I had the pleasure of watching, future Hall of Fame quarterback Ben Roethlisberger come into our stadium and throw for legitimately over 500 yards
God.
and just shoot the lights out. And I remember going, "Whoa, that guy's pretty good." And
He's all right.
yeah, it turned out that So
He ended up being pretty good. Yeah.
yeah, you would think that wouldn't be my highlight.
Well, there it
but
is, though.
It sure is. So they did win their game yesterday, which is good because they are pretty bad.
Mhm.
Probably going to fire their coach again, which
No,
it happens.
Yeah.
So is life.
You know what I just heard that actually is kind of in line with what you're talking about now is Pittsburgh has only had, I think, 3-4 coaches in the entire inception of the team.
Since like the late '60s, yeah.
For a long time.
Wow,
It's only 3 actually. It's Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and Mike Tomlin. And I'm not a
Tomlin.
Steelers guy, so like
Same.
I do give them respect for that. Like the consistency there is incredible.
Well, I mean,
but-
again, I'm no professional. I'm not, I'm not an analyst in any way, but like, I believe there's something to be said of the consistency of like, having a long-term head coach,
Sure.
even through good or bad
Stable
seasons and stuff.
organization.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because then it takes time to grow a team, I believe.
Of course.
The
course,
same thing
yeah.
can be said about quarterbacks. You got a young quarterback, and he doesn't do great his first year or two. I think you really have to consider sticking with that for a long time, just to make sure, like, you're not getting in your own way of like letting a team build around so they can grow. But again, that's my very limited sports ball knowledge.
They used to give quarterbacks like 3 seasons to figure their stuff out.
Yeah.
That timeline is far more accelerated now, but still holds true for most people.
Yeah.
You'll know by the end of year 3 if they got something or not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hopefully they're better
football-
than that beforehand.
Yeah,
So
true.
College football is a huge moneymaker for a lot of schools. So I mean,
sure. Well,
and high school too. So I'm not obviously college ball, but a lot of high schools and colleges would be in a lot worse situation financially without their football team, which I know a lot of people love to hate on, but
Well,
that is a fact, though.
even a bad football team like the University of Akron, their football team is the reason most of their other sports get funded.
Yeah.
Between
That's
their
always a good
men's,
thing, yeah.
their football team and their men's basketball team generally funds the rest of the athletic department.
Yep.
So it shouldn't be that way, and I wish it wasn't, because some of those other sports are really exciting to watch.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just
Very much so.
it's really hard to get 30 to 40,000 people to show up for, like a field hockey game.
Yeah.
Even though field hockey's rad as hell.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever seen it, like it's like at a high level, that stuff's wild.
Oh, yeah. I'll always say volleyball is one of the most exciting sports. to
Volleyball's
watch.
a hell of a sport. Like
Well, it's very quick moving, yeah.
men's and women's volleyball at the professional or even the high collegiate level
Mhm.
is very entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So, in Russia they have like Premier League
Really?
volleyball. They do.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that anymore because it's in Russia.
Yeah.
so
It is what
I
it is.
probably just got sanctioned by like the UN.
The internet knows. But
Mhm.
what have you guys been
They know.
watching this week? What have you guys been watching?
Well, I watched a Smashing Machine.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
though,
yeah, we
but-
did that. So what did I watch this week? My oldest just got done watching Percy Jackson today.
Like the
Lightning
show
Thief?
or the films or the show?
I
Oh,
can't.
I forgot they did a
remember
Disney
now.
Plus show, didn't they?
Yeah,
The
they-
low,
yeah, they
the
did.
like the two Logan Lerman movies and Pierce Brosnan.
I think it was probably the
show.
show if I was a betting man. So, but I mean, like that looked cool from the little bit that I saw of it, but haven't watched much this week. I rewatched an old movie which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, and I say old because it is older than 10 years now. So
Oh,
I can say
Oh my
that.
Lord,
It's true.
jeez,
Ah.
Good God.
So I watched some shows this week.
Okay.
I started the HBO show Task, which
Mm-hmm.
is about a FBI task force.
Okay. Yeah.
Stars Mark Ruffalo and some
Mark
other
Ruffalo,
folks.
yeah.
Gotcha.
It's decent. I like it. It's a pretty good cop show
Mhm.
kind of thing, and it's set in like Eastern Pennsylvania. So like this one this one woman has like the thick Philly accent, and
yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yep.
Like absolutely hilarious.
Oh, British Bake Off kicked back off, and
Oh.
that's been watched in my household. So, yeah.
Nice. The other thing I watched all 4 episodes of Marvel Zombies.
Oh, okay.
It's
wild.
rad. It's rad.
Yeah.
So like if you like the what ifs and that whole storyline, it's very, very cool.
Yep.
So, and it's rated M. Probably doesn't need to be.
Yeah, you probably been R.
But it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they do a really good job with that, and it has like the legit voice cast too, which is nice. They even have Chadwick Boseman's Chitala, because that's the last credit that he has. Is the second season of What If. He actually, spoiler, sacrifices himself in that to kill Thanos.
Oh, okay.
So zombie Thanos, which is kind of rad.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it actually ruins a lot of other things when he does it, but his intentions were good.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. And they definitely set it up for more of that later on, which is
Yeah.
even better.
I finished Game of Thrones again.
Yeah, you kept
And-
sending us clips through the week of
Yeah.
Well, I-
everybody Tormund Giant Spain, and yes,
Roger loves Tormund, and he says
who
some. I mean,
doesn't love
yeah,
Tormund?
He's without a doubt one of the best characters in the show. But I had forgotten when it came to I had forgotten how much I was disappointed in season 8. I had forgotten how mad that made me, and I was angry all over again
Nice.
because
So-
Benioff and Weiss. If you guys get hit by a car, it's not
Whoa.
enough.
Jesus.
I don't understand how you can take a show that is arguably one of the most talked about shows of all time and not drop the ball for 7 seasons, and then
Just
for
bury
very
it.
selfish reasons you just spike it into the ground. You don't even care about it. That just everything shut down so fast, and it's like resolutions didn't happen. It's like I had something in my brain. I get so into the story that I had forgotten that the Mountain and the Hound, they die by falling off and into the rubble and it's on fire. But like his arc is like one of my favorite of all times. The Hound,
The Hounds, yeah.
the Hound is great, and you know his loyal allegiance to Arya and to Sansa to make sure they're okay because of what he's done. And it's like that's some in-depth, complicated stuff. That's just like,
Well, I mean,
What?
even Jamie Lannister's
Oh,
arc
yeah.
was a frustrating one to see in the way it did. I mean,
Without a
you could
doubt.
you could argue that like it ended exactly where it began, and how just Jamie couldn't escape that part of who he was, but at the same time, they really did up until the season, the last season plays, he really is on an arc that is leading him away from all of that, and it felt very breakneck the way it kind of goes back to that at the very end.
Well, it's a way they're like, how can we like poetry? They like rhymes, like poetry. I couldn't him getting away from. I so into it, like I forgot what happened. So like I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
My brain just erased what I knew, and like I was going forward.
8 seasons of that show, and a lot happens in that show.
A lot.
There's just so many storylines and characters that come and go and end abruptly and pick back up in the middle. Like there's a lot that happens there.
Oh
and
yeah, so
most of it's pretty good. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
yeah.
One quick last thing about our buddy Tormund.
Yeah.
The guy that Christopher
Boughan?
Highview. Is I believe how you say his last name.
Mhm.
It's Norwegian, so I'm probably wrong about that.
Oh, yeah.
Is all the stuff he says about the Brienne of Tarth character, like, did you bring the big woman? Stuff like, no, like that's not in the script. He just started saying it.
Oh, really?
And they just kept it in. Like they kept let him go with it.
That's funny.
Like the part where he's riding back with the mountain,
Mhm.
and he's talking about these like this giant woman,
Yeah,
golden hair, whatever.
Mhm.
And he goes,
the Hound.
"Are you talking? Yeah." He goes, "Are you talking about Brienne of Tarth?" He goes, "Yes." It's just, the striking beauty. And it's just like, goddamn, like that dude rules so hard.
I play World of Warcraft, and there's a version of humans you can make that are just these huge, oversized, just mammoth of dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And I made a redheaded one, and I made him a Fury Warrior who dual wields axes. I'm like,
Nice.
fuck yeah! And he's
good.
His name is Tormund, but spelled wrong because someone else did it before me.
Yeah,
but,
sure, of course.
Whatever.
It's just how that show, how season 7 gets everyone back to Winterfell is like, that's the stuff that gets me all like in the feel. Same with like Marvel, like when all the Avengers assemble and then like assemble and then they all like, that's just, that is to me what filmmaking does best, or what it can do best, what a well-written script can do is like, because like and especially that sequence where all those guys in the room with the fireplace in the Great Hall of Winterfell they were just sitting down like shooting shit for 20 minutes talking about, but like that makes sense in a show like that because they're assuming they're all going to die.
Yep.
So you have enemies that have been enemies now for 7 seasons, and generations before that pretty much just sharing beer with each other, ale, and shaking hands, and pretty much, hey, if I die, I'm glad it's with everyone free in the North. We die together. But what an excellent, and then the episode is like, and then which I kind of give pass for the Battle of Winterfell because it's
the darkness.
The darkness.
The darkness, and for some reason HBO it's cast like the volume is way down and it's so dark, and I had to turn it way up.
I've never rewatched it.
I did once.
So
and the tactics are awful. They charge all the Dothraki into the wall. Like, I just don't understand what military book they were playing. It's just get everyone into the castle, and but that when they're all in the castle and they're fighting to man the walls, like that's the stuff that, like, boy, it's just, I love it.
Well, but one of my favorite shots in like a lot of cinema is the long shot of Jon Snow walking through the keep in that long shot that he has, and like behind, and like as the camera turns behind him is the
dragon,
the undead dragon and shit, and like just that shot keeps going. It's such a good piece of cinematography that
it's wonderful. And I forgot how much I hated Cersei Lannister. I forgot. She is a piece of work, man. Like, if I ever meet Lena Headey, I'm like, look, excellent job. You fucking nailed that. That was amazing.
I hated you so much.
Well, didn't like the kid who played Joffrey, like it just catapulted him away from acting?
No, he retired. He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So much crap from people. He said it's like, I can't go walk down the street anymore without getting crap for that. It's like, well, I get it. I mean, people get into I get that, but Game of Thrones, what a wild ride. I'm gonna wait for House of the Dragon to season 3 is coming 2026, and then they say 2028 is season 4, and then there's like 5 more spinoffs scheduled that HBO just announced like last.
Aren't they already working on one of them already? Something like that.
I think, but there's like tons. There's an animated thing coming. There's a movie coming. They're really putting some money into this, but I mean, it's well worth it. I mean, I didn't keep up with House of the Dragon. I need to get caught up with that, but
it's all right.
I love that stuff.
It's very Game of Thronesy.
So I got caught up again with Land of Bad, and what a rad movie that is. Do you guys remember that? Russell Crowe and the Hemsworth brother. And
A
so,
Hemsworth brother.
did you guys watch? No,
good one, right?
both
A lesser
Hemsworth
Hemsworth.
brothers.
Ah, damn.
They're both on a mission in the beginning, and when the one of them, the lesser known, I think Luke is dying. It's funny because his brother's holding his hand, and they're playing two different soldiers, and it's one beautiful Hemsworth blue-eyed brother looking into the eyes of another beautiful blue-eyed Hemsworth brother, which I thought was hilarious. But
I think it's weird that you're objectifying them like
look,
that. But
they
all
are
right.
beautiful guys, and they both have blue eyes, and they sell it. But do you guys know what that movie's about? Like, do you guys ever watch that?
I don't think I ever have.
So
Mm-mm.
he who's the second
recent
Hemsworth?
movie,
The,
right? Yeah.
Who's the second?
Liam.
Liam is part of a 4-man fire team with Milo Ventimiglia, who go in to rescue an asset and one of their guys, and all goes wrong, and Liam's on the run, and Russell Crowe is the eyes in the sky, and there's another airman right next to him, and they're watching the area to tell him where danger is coming from. It's actually kind of awesome. In Russell Crowe, man, for a few moments in Glimmer, when he refuses to get out of that chair, or when he's racing back to call off the strike that's going to kill Hemsworth, he's like, you see that Maximus, you see that intensity for like 4 seconds, and like to me that was worth it, because we haven't seen that Russell Crowe intensity since like 2003, the Master and Commander film. Like it's been gone forever. We haven't seen that such a long time. It's just so nice to see again.
I mean, someone here clearly didn't pay attention during a Pope's exorcist. When he
I
comes
actually
rolling
just
up
watched
on
that
his
too, yeah.
on his little motorcycle or his little
I mean,
moped.
I do like that.
I'd argue that you're about to have a bad day.
Yes, I knew you were going to say it. I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, he seemed intense in that one. You know what I mean?
That movie was a decent movie that had the balls to come back in theater before anything else. Wasn't that the one that was
It
returned
was
to
it.
theaters?
They delayed
Huh?
it by like 3 weeks. They're like, we're
Yeah.
not letting people back yet.
Yeah.
I've been busy watching stuff this week.
Cool.
Finished Game of Thrones, Land of Bad. I also just started I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So when you scroll over Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's the 50th anniversary edition for Netflix. You know how like you scroll over it and then like it plays, something
Mhm.
plays.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Matthew McConaughey and that's Renee Zellweger. I'm like,
Mhm.
did I ever watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I never watched the sequel, which they're
Yeah.
in.
Well, isn't McConaughey's in? Is it the second or third one?
I think
that
it's the
he's in?
second one,
Okay.
or one of them. But when you hold it over Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 50th anniversary of the 76 version, the original one, that plays. I'm like, was I high did I not remember that? Like, how do I? So I played it, and it's they just have the wrong thing. But that happens a lot. They have the wrong thing playing with the. What a wild movie! I also just watched a few episodes of Monster, the Ed Gein story on Netflix, the new thing. It's supposed to be the influence for Leatherface on Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Yeah.
and I think Hitchcock's Psycho. I did some research, and apparently they just Texas Chainsaw Massacre, no true events at all. They just said that when the movie came out to get people talking, and it never went away.
Gotcha.
How wild is that? Because I always believed what the movie said based on real events.
If the script,
I
says
only
it,
believe what the movie
if
said.
the script says it and they have to put it on screen, it does. I don't think there's a law that says they have to be honest with that.
Well, I mean, in the 70s, there definitely was no law saying you couldn't do that. But, anyway, but I thought we've long in the tooth now. But it's been a very eventful week watching stuff. Chris,
Cool.
I watched Avatar.
Yeah.
All 3 hours and 20 minutes of it, plus
Yeah.
trailers.
Yeah.
So it was more like 3:45
on purpose.
Yeah, and it looked fantastic. Okay, you're gonna eat some crow here in a minute when we talk about box office. It made a lot of money.
I know it made a lot of money.
This week it didn't, so let's not.
Well, no, it made more than I thought it was gonna make. Good lord!
Oh,
But,
all right.
what else? You guys want to say anything else before we get into the show
No,
proper?
I think we're
Yeah,
good.
roll us in.
Like you said, we're long in the tooth.
All right, you've been listening to us talk. I am one of your hosts, Grayson Maxwell. Joining me, as they do every week, are my beautiful co-hosts, Roger Stillion and Chris Boughan. Let's get into the show proper, guys, shall we? Once again, this is episode 50 of Post Credits Podcast.
Ba-dum-ba-bum.
Let's start it. Let's look at the box
Don't do
office.
that. No.
Okay, let's look at the box office. So number one, as surprise to no one, Taylor Swift, the official release party of Showgirl, out of nowhere, 33 million for a worldwide of 46. It obviously didn't do great, but
I mean, it
Number
beats the shit
two.
out of everything else.
There are plenty of movies that would love to have that number.
Like any of the next movies you're about to say. Just saying.
number two, in this one, this is the one that perplexes me. It disappoints me in this country. One battle after another 11.1. But you know what the worldwide for this is?
What?
$101 million. Which
all right.
means some people have watched this 12 times. This
Well,
one
I
specific
mean-
audience have watched this 12 times.
I mean, they're allowed.
Yeah.
There certainly are. Number 3,
money.
Smashing Machine, 6 million for a worldwide of 6 million. Yeah, not a good start. Gabby's Dollhouse, number 4, 5.2, 32 million worldwide. And number 5, The Conjuring Last Rites, still holding on, 4.1 million, 458 worldwide is not a
Good number, man.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yep.
Good number.
That's a fistful of coins, if you ask me. Number 6, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Infinity Castle, still going strong. Also, Chris, you'll be happy to know, worldwide take of $757 million.
Hell yeah.
It crossed the $750 million mark, so that's good.
Solid. Good for it.
Avatar: Way of Water that was number 7, sitting at $10 million. Well, 9.9 million made. So that was awesome 3D, man. It's just it looked wild. I didn't even know it was 3D until I got there, and I was really disappointed. But it didn't hurt my eyes at all.
Oh
So
man, is the next one going to be 3D again?
I'm sure it will be. Yeah.
Damn it!
And I got to see like a 10-minute clip of
It's
Ashen
just
Fire.
James Cameron's fault.
Yep.
Like 3D should be dead. Let it go, bud.
I don't disagree with you on that point. Number 8, Strangers Chapter 2, which I did watch. It's sitting at 11.5, and
How was it?
there will be a Strangers Chapter 3, which I did not anticipate. However, we did. I give this movie was. I thought this movie was great. It was leagues ahead of better. The first one, Chapter 1, was a remake of The Strangers from 2008 with Liv Tyler, Scott Speedman. They come in the house, they torment them, they leave, and then we don't know anything. This is Chapter 2, after she wakes up in the hospital. Let me tell you, this girl, she gets stabbed. She has to fight a wild pig in the forest with a knife. She gets beat around like a rag doll. She is a warrior woman. She's almost up there with Ripley and Sarah Connor. Just saying. The second chapter was a pleasure to watch because she is a killer, and these guys are like, there comes a turning point where she doesn't take any shit after she gets patched up again, and you can see the resolve in her eyes, and like there's a little bit of a, she's no longer helpless, like she's a warrior woman, and it's great to watch when she does some things to these awful masked
So it's
people.
like Becky. You guys remember
Yes.
that movie?
Yeah. That's I almost watched the second one earlier today, but
I heard the second one's pretty good.
yeah, I definitely
Like it's
wanna
right
watch
in
that.
line with the first one.
But I was very happy with Strangers Chapter 2, although, and then when it says right after a big story beat, we're moving to be continued. Oh my God. You people. Which I don't know if we're going to get it because it's not doing any money. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get Strangers Chapter 3. I don't even know if we're going to get Horizon Chapter 2 from Kevin Costner, the Western. We still haven't.
Yeah,
That was
which is weird because
this
didn't
year.
they shoot that? Or
Yeah, it's
something
done.
already?
It's in the can, but
Mhm.
I think they're scared to release it to like a $9 million opening week, which is not good.
Yeah.
Number 9, a movie I heard a lot about, Good Boy.
This
A
is the
loyal-
dog where the
it's the
house is
dog,
haunted with the
yeah.
dogs there. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
A loyal dog moves to a rural family home with its owner only to discover supernatural forces lurking in the shadows. As dark entities threaten his human companion, the brave pup must fight to protect the ones he loves most. Hell yeah, boy, you do it. You're the best boy. But that's only done $2.2 million, so
Dog versus ghost. Interesting.
dog wins. The Long Walk, number 10, 44 million worldwide for a very weak weekly take of 1.7.
The movie's all right.
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
All right,
Which is weird that I have to say that after watching other stuff now. And
I would agree.
never mind. Never mind.
Be nice.
Never mind, indeed.
No.
Let's look forward just to next week. I'm trying to make this segment a thing. Maybe we can make it. Let's see. Which is next week is 10/7, which is Kiss of the Spider Woman, Roof Man, Soul on Fire, Tron Ares, which we will be talking about, and then 1,000 things. Among them is After the Hunt, which the trailer now is everywhere for 100 meters, and If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is a Rose Byrne movie, but it's also A24. So if you're an A24 fan, that's available next week. You guys excited for that one? No, probably not.
No.
All right, Chris,
Yo,
give us a movie rec for episode 50. What you got?
Well, it's not.
I
Chris-
will.
It's not
I tell
Chris's
Roger
turn.
to.
Roger,
It's not Chris's turn. So
I'm sorry, it's Roger.
it's my turn.
Yeah, it's you, buddy.
So we watched Smashing Machine this week, which is a movie that is about
Smashing.
mixed martial arts,
Yeah.
ultimate fighting, pride, whatever you want to refer to it as. So I had a couple of options to go here with any kind of fighting movie, and I chose to go with Warrior
Yeah.
with Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
and it is a movie that's what Smashing Machine should aspire to be,
Yeah.
and by that I mean entertaining.
Yes.
Oh, shots fired for later.
Ba, ba, ba.
But yeah, it's a very good movie about two brothers that end up having to basically fight each other in an octagon in prison. So,
Yep.
which is a weird set of circumstances to get there, but the story's pretty good.
Mhm.
And like Tom Hardy, this is like when he's at like peak Tom Hardy, and in pretty good shape.
I was say peak physicality. Tom
Sure,
Hardy.
yeah,
I was gonna say.
right. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an easy watch. It's a good movie. Did you guys ever watch that?
Yeah,
It's not too long, right? I can't remember. It's been a while since I
it's like
watched it.
140. It's like an hour 45
Yeah,
minutes. It's
yeah.
not super crazy long.
We
Shot
like
Pittsburgh.
140s.
Was it? I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that was one of my first credits. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very
Nice.
cool.
Yeah. Tom Hardy, Nick Nolte, Joel Edgerton, Jennifer Morrison, Kevin Dunn, Frank Grillo. Like a hell of a cast, even for the time. Hell of a cast.
You know, I mean, I just want to shout out Frank Grillo for a second.
He's in everything.
Like he, like hell of a cast is always like, you know, it's easy to say when like Frank Grillo's present for us, but like I wish this guy would get a couple really big roles. And you know, like some like really big stuff. He's always like some side or titular character, but never like the hard focus on like a big budget thing. Maybe there's a reason for that, but you know, I think that he's always worth shouting out as a part of a cast. But like, you know, I think the guy, you know, needs something.
Well, it's because he's a better bad guy than a good guy.
You know, well, I mean, there's a few movies out there that have very iconic bad guys in it too. You know what I mean? I bet he could pull one off.
Sure.
Frank Grillo, he's all most of the Marvels. He was in several of the Marvel stuff, wasn't he?
Because he's part of the team that tried to
Yeah,
take
but he's
down
always
Captain
he's
America.
just
And then he got blown
up.
up by Wanda, so
True.
I don't think he's coming back.
Oh yeah, he was boss level. I mean, I don't maybe
Oh,
not.
yeah, I forget.
Big,
That was
maybe
what
not
Hulu
big
did
budget.
that, right?
Yeah,
It's not big budget, but it is. He is a lead in
He
that
has the lead
one.
role in it.
That's an okay movie.
It is.
It's an okay movie.
It was funny.
So yeah.
He was one of the ensemble in The Gray. I love that movie with Liam Neeson and the plane crash and they try to outdo the wolves.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that one too. But he's got a bigger role in that than you might think. But I'm
It's
looking
been a
at
long
his
time since I watched that.
filmography. Jesus, this guy's in everything.
But like Warrior's a good movie,
Oh, yeah.
and I recommend if you're interested in like the MMA style fighting
Mhm.
and everything like that, it's a pretty good show.
yeah. I like it's one of Tom Hardy's performances that you really like. You feel he put his you know his both his acting powers and his body into
physicality. Yep.
Yeah, so like that. I mean, it's always cool to see those kind of performances, at least from my perspective.
Mhm.
So
I
would
into
agree
it
with
all the
that.
way. Yeah.
That's a good movie, man. That's yeah, it's a good one to like have in your pedigree to talk about too. It's a good.
Everybody should check it out. It's so here's the thing. I guarantee you, a lot of people have not seen that, and you should. So check it out.
Is it on anything? I wonder.
Oh hell, I don't know.
I'm checking right now on IMDb. Fill time for 1 second. It is. It doesn't list anything. Oh, it's on Movie Sphere
nice.
and Fossum. I don't know.
Everybody
what
has those, so that's an easy one to pick up and watch.
I don't know what
hell
that
is
is.
that.
Oh, it's
What movie possum? I assume it's you know
It's
Fossum.
opossum.
It's on a Tribeca shortlist. It's on Fossum TV and Pluto TV.
Pluto TV is actually pretty common. So
It's
Yeah.
pretty robust, actually.
Pluto's
Pluto-
free too.
Yeah, it
so-
is. It is.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, check it out. It's a good movie.
I would agree with that. All right, so welcome to episode 50, and for the occasion, this is a special segment where we are going to talk about our favorite films, a little bit about why, and kind of where we're at on our journey for the podcast. So I am quite excited to do this. It's something we don't get to do very often. It's something we kind of like keep away from the fourth wall,
Sure.
kind of purposely, but it's, why not? This is, I figured, thank you for listening to us. Hope we get 50 more out of you, but for a reason, let's talk about our favorite movies. Gentlemen, are you excited? How excited are you guys? Thank you for that.
Yeah, no. Good to go. I mean, I think it's pretty neat. I mean, so like, I don't know. I feel like my movie tastes have drastically evolved in my time talking about movies
Sure.
in more of a critical way, which has only been like what 5 or 6, 7 years, something like that.
Nope, 50 episodes.
I just mean over the breadth of my illustrious
Slightly less than
career.
1 year,
More than that, but all right.
but anyway,
allegedly.
so like it's weird thinking about the movies that I liked and why, like even like in my late 20s compared to like what I like really enjoy now, because like I used to hate horror and stuff, right? So like
Sure, well,
it's
no, I
definitely
get it.
it's definitely like just changed with like just kind of like the way I more appreciate the movie making process and like really appreciate a good movie because of how rare they seem to be versus like the amount of slop that's out there.
Yeah.
And that's even not even talking about the Netflix or the streaming stuff, which now has more of a definitely a propensity to have like the Me Times and other movies of the ilk, where like even theatrically it's hard to find a great film.
Mhm.
So
Well,
but
I
I
mean,
guess
with
that's
horror
what makes them
too,
great.
with horror too is like we're more forgiving on bad horror films for some reason than we are any other genre. You ever wonder why?
I think it's because of the simplicity of like the storytelling in most horror, right?
And the
Like,
audience doesn't care.
for
For whatever reason, they just don't.
I mean, I think it's because like the reason why you're there for horror is for the horror element, not usually for a deeper story or for like connective, well-written storylines. Like you're there for the horror element, which like you don't have to have those things to be scared or to be creeped out or
Yeah.
to be those. So like it kind of gets gets off on a different kind of foot, I think. But that's outside of the realms of what we're going for now. But yeah, so like I'm excited. It's just exciting to think about like just what my favorite movies are now compared to like what they would have like if I would have never started talking about movies in any way, shape, or form, like I'd be like I'd tell you like my favorite movies are Transformers and like some obscure war movie that like no one's heard of and like
Tears of the
like
Sun.
yeah you know what I mean, like
Hey, that's a fine movie to like, though.
no true
Tears
true,
of the
but
Sun
like,
is a fine Transformers thing, though.
I mean
Don't do that.
well,
Don't do that.
not
The
the
first one I'll give you.
Not-
I wouldn't give
no,
anyone
not-
any other one.
no, the second one, you know what I mean?
No,
That's the
dog,
best.
Stop it.
Stop
Stop it.
See, we'll say even like
I will
like,
unplug your microphone.
well, it's like even now, I get why what I just said is funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
Because
it's true.
and then I wouldn't have.
Just to piggyback off what you said too is
Yeah.
doing this for as long as we have been, and most of the time I enjoy it. There are some times though when we watch movies that aren't very good,
Yeah.
and the one thing that I've realized is now I don't have to feel bad about not liking a movie.
Oh yeah.
It's because like that was a thing that back in a previous iteration of this that we did together, like I would feel bad when I would be mean to a movie,
Mhm.
and because people worked on it and got paid for it, and
Yeah.
then I'm just like, you got paid for something that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So like, look, I work with a bunch of people, myself included, sometimes they don't always give 110%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I won't say that everybody needs to be judged by their worst thing, but there are definitely things you see in bad movies
Yeah.
more often than the little bit of stuff that sinks through for
Yeah.
consistently good movies.
I don't think I'm ever going to feel bad for a director or an actor that got paid X amount of millions of dollars and made something like they made a bad thing. It's like
No.
you know what, you got paid for this.
Well, I do appreciate it now that some people are just like, you know what, it was just a paycheck, and I'm just like,
true.
look,
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of you for that.
Yep.
So who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about their favorite movie first?
I'll do it.
He's
All
ready.
right.
Look at him. He's
Well,
so
here's
proud
the
of
thing.
himself.
Here's the thing is, I mean, this wouldn't exist without my pushing, and then I'm
true.
and then I met Roger
movie?
working with him. No, the whole venture, and then
Gotcha.
I met Roger who filled in for many years ago, and then we picked up Chris like a stray dog, and then it's
Pretty
just
much.
been
randomly in a department store, and I'm not even kidding.
Nope,
about
that's
that.
how it went down.
It's-
I wasn't there for that. So
it's a what we
he's
have like a
sort of
nice
stuck
little,
around like a tick.
Yeah,
He's
it
just
is what it
latched
is.
on.
Yeah.
it's a nice little cohesive unit. But as far as me, it's and I here's the thing with me is my favorite movie is Braveheart. But here with for a second is I was going to be a filmmaker or part of the
Braveheart.
filmmaking world from an early. My dad took me to see the theatrical run of Beauty and the Beast when I was a wee lad, and I couldn't. I was so little. I mean. I had to bring stuff to sit in the chair because it wasn't like stadium tiered seating. It was like the floor gradually had you guys remember Carmike?
Yeah, the slope floors. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember
And
that.
he tells the story better than I could, but he was watching me watch the screen. And something he's always been very proud of is giving me his love for movies. I didn't get his love for other things, but I got his love for soccer and his love for films. and it just kind of stuck, and it's always been a bonding thing between us. And
Can we
he
talk
always
about
says
soccer now?
Stop.
he loves it, but he he always tells a story about Joe. The end of Beauty and the Beast is when Belle's riding back to the castle frantically, and the Beast is fighting Gaston on the roof. And I was someone like 7, and like he tells a story of he looked to his right and he could see me sitting on all my the I think phone books he brought so I could sit on and get over the guy in front of me. But it was he's like, I could just tell that you got it. I could just tell that you understood that your jaw was dropped to the floor. You understood that the Beast was in this Vietnam rage like thing attacking Gaston. He was not going to stop till he killed him. His bloodlust. And then Belle's voice just cut through all that and brought him back. It took that Vietnam rage away. I didn't know what Vietnam was, but like he was explaining it in his terms. Like I could tell that you understood that her voice took the rage away, and that's what calmed him down. He's like, I knew then you were going to be involved in, and I was. From an early age, like I could remember my sleepovers, and this is a really weird. Those of you out there who remember, I'm like a sleepover in middle school, and we were watching Terminator. We watched Terminator that time.
The first one?
The first one, and
Perfect.
we were like,
terrified.
Man.
it was like the mid 90s, like 95, 96, and it's like I still talk about some of those guys. Some like 11 guys came over, and I still talk to some about, like, we all like, hey Grayson, you remember we watched Terminator out? It was like 5th grade. Yeah, I remember that.
I could imagine letting my daughter, who's in 5th grade, watch Terminator right now.
Times are different.
Crazy.
So funny thing about it was 6th grade for me, but it wasn't like a sleepover or whatever. I remember it was like the last day of school in 6th grade, and like there were 3 homeroom classes, and they were playing 3 different movies, and you could go to whatever movie you wanted, and it ended up being like 30 boys in one room watching RoboCop 2. Could you imagine that now?
Damn.
Awesome. Yeah, dude. It owned.
And I'm
so cool.
I'm the guy that, and I'm working up to some. So I'm the guy that in 8th grade we had history, and I still remember the teacher. I was just talking to him about this on Facebook the other day. He has since moved to Florida. He's other opportunities, but I let no one. So we watched. I brought in a copy of the Rock, and we watched it. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday we watched The Rock. I think it was 2, and we didn't get in trouble until the last day. Someone and the principal walked in. He's like, "Are you guys watching a rated R movie?"
Yep.
In 8th grade class.
Yep. Hell yeah.
And
That's
I made
awesome.
that happen. But I mean, it's my love for films have always been there. And every paper I wrote in school, I brought home to movies or a character I was obsessed with at the time. And I saw Braveheart, and that was that was a single that just. It dominated my thought process for days.
Yeah.
There's so much great in that movie that, I mean, I compare every period piece I see to it, and I should, because like if you can make one, you can do more. But it's the power and passion behind that film. And say what you want about Mel Gibson. I get it.
Yeah.
He's got a certain, rumors about him, but as a filmmaker, that guy knows how to make a movie. And it's I'll never forget when I figured out, for instance, the opening when the Horner score comes up, that wonderful, very orchestral, and then like you see the icon for Mel's company comes up, and then you see like the mist of, then like it's misty, and then you see like Braveheart, the name come through the mist. It took me so long to figure that out, and one day I was like, oh my god, the legend goes through the mists of time. Like, you don't see that anymore. It's like Netflix hasn't achieved that since the inception of their own movies. So and there's so much about that film that just, that's my number one. Always. Slots 2 through 101 are always changing in my mind. I have like a big list of these that change all the time. But Braveheart is just, that's my number one. It's going to be that's always going to be my number one. There's so much good about that film. The casting, the passion, especially the sequence in the tent with the princess. It's like, how do you watch that movie and give it anything but 2 thumbs up? I just don't get it. But
it's a really good film. It's like my cousin, one of my cousins and I, we share a deep love for like medieval fantasy and medieval films and stuff like that. And Braveheart is probably in his top 3 as well. It's one of his favorites for a reason, and he watches a lot of films. So that's, I get it. I agree. It's a great movie. It's hard to argue with that film as being in someone's top 1, even like top 2 or whatever. So
Yeah.
No, I get it, man.
Excellent.
There are
Yeah,
others.
excellent.
So, I mean, you guys, I don't think have a story like that as far as like, but tell us your story and then what led you to your favorite film.
Good, buddy.
I'll go next.
Go ahead.
So
Sure.
I quickly want to hop on the fun bandwagon of movies I shouldn't have watched at a certain time.
Good. Yes.
And my grandmother, rest her soul, one of the most crass and I don't give a shit attitude kind of people you'd ever meet. She loved bad movies.
Okay.
Like loved them.
Well, what was
lived
her
for
big bad movie? What was it?
Well, so her biggest baddest movie was Aliens 3.
There you go.
She loved Aliens 3.
Okay. Sure.
And she's actually one of the reasons why I love sci-fi.
Okay.
But
that's
I remember, so we used to go to my grandmother's house every summer, like all the cousins. I'm the oldest of all these kids, right? 97. It's the summer of 98 and it's been a year since the movie came out, but she wanted to watch with all the grandkids sleep on the living room floor. She wanted to watch Anaconda.
Yeah, baby. Wait, we're talking
so
like
bad,
Jennifer, like
too.
the Jennifer Lopez.
Yep.
That one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
She
man.
also loved Jennifer Lopez, so it made a lot of
Hey,
sense.
I get that. I feel
But-
that in my soul. I feel that.
But it's 98. I graduated 8 years after that, so I'm 11 or 12 at the time.
Perfect.
Do you know what the opening scene of Anaconda is?
That dude gets torn apart by that snake,
Yeah.
right?
No, not a dude. Two lesbians getting it on in a tent.
Oh yeah, that's right. They come up behind. He comes like rips through the tent. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
so like again,
Is
12
that
years old.
like one of those like pivotal moments in your mind?
12 years old.
forever?
Not for me, but
Sure.
for every other kid that's younger than me watching this too. Where like at one point when all this happened, I like slow turned to look at my grandmother on the couch, and she's just sitting there in the dark, smoking her cigarette, just watching the movie. Like I'm like, all right,
Just
then.
laughing like.
Like, God damn. But
So is Anaconda your favorite movie of all time?
It is not. So I got two movies to talk briefly about.
Okay.
So for the longest time, until actually in the last year, my favorite movie a little more than a year now, but like so my favorite movie has been Schindler's List.
Yes.
And
Excellent movie.
This has been for a long time.
Top tier level film.
And
Sad as shit.
and what it really is, and what I'm going to say is like I didn't start watching movies critically, till some years ago, and I liked Schindler's List before that. That was just the sign that I was meant to talk about movies critically, since my taste in film is obviously superb. So
obviously.
obviously superb.
Obviously.
But like so, Schindler's List. I think it was one of the first movies, and I carry this forward now as like a big reason why like I can tell when I really like a movie. It's because like Schindler's List affected me when I watched it.
Sure.
It's like it's the first movie I can really remember watching that. Besides, I guess the first Spider-Man movie, but
It's a good movie too, though.
it is. But like Schindler's List like affected me. I watched it. I knew this was a big deal. Like going into it, I knew this was about an important time in history. I've always liked the World War II, like not liked, but it was fascinating with the World War II era.
Yeah.
Even
Sure.
before I watched Schindler's List, so like I was already kind of like locked into what this movie was going to give me, but I had no idea the scale of like the sadness, the devastation, and all the things we were going to see masterfully on film. So like. And I watched this movie for the first time in I can't remember where. It was in a school class in high school. So it was like my freshman year or something. We watched it, and like it was just like A, I couldn't believe we were watching this in school, but B, like I remember being one of the few kids that like I didn't talk to a single person the whole time we watched it. It took two whole
you actually watched it.
Yeah, like it took two whole block scheduling class periods to get through the whole thing. People were talking, snickering, or making fun of some of the things they saw on screen and stuff. And like I was just 100% watching that
Locked
movie.
in, baby.
And it was so good. Like I remember for the first time, like going from Friday to Monday, like being excited to go to school so I could finish watching this movie in
Sure.
class. So like just the artistry of the film, what you saw. I think this is also what like really keyed me into the fact that I like sad movies. Like I enjoy that somber feeling that you can get from watching film, hearing like music and stuff. And
Okay.
Schindler's just really did deliver all of that to me. I've rewatched it plenty of times. Like I've dug into like the history of making the movie. It really is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
The other film that has now surpassed it. This is going to sound maybe kind of bad considering like the level of artistry that Schindler's List has, but it's for
Starship
different reasons.
Troopers. Yeah, baby.
Well, it's
Hell yeah,
it's the
brother.
lesser known second one. So,
Oh my lord, that's the worst of the four. Jeez.
True.
the fact there's 4 is sad.
I even know the title.
I knew there was 4.
I even know the title, The Hero of the
Oh, God.
Federation. That's the second one. It's
Oh,
awful.
Jesus.
Casper Van Dien
Ugh.
comes back for the third. And just so you know, they have halted production on the fourth. I just found
Oh,
that
well,
out.
goddamn.
On the
Well, yeah, they're
remake.
probably changing the name of it to Helldivers, which is what they should do.
Super Earth or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
For the democracy.
so I've talked about it before. Like I'm the sci-fi guy. Like I love sci-fi movies, and again, probably a big reason of a part of my grandmother, and that she loved bad sci-fi. So like I sought out good sci-fi.
There's plenty of
Weird.
that out there. By the
There
way.
is, especially on the Sci-Fi Channel, like Sci-Fi Channel movies back then. Ooh, tough watches. But for the first, I watched a movie on my cell phone flying to Colorado. And the movie this movie was Interstellar, and I can't tell you how excited I was to watch this movie on a big like actually like surround sound screen setup that like my cousin had after I watched it on the way to Colorado. And like I've never been so glued to my phone. Just like like my wife's there, my kids are on the plane, I got my headphones on, I'm just staring at this. Like I couldn't believe how good it was, even from that perspective. And seeing it that way and then rewatching it again where I could sit down and enjoy the film fully, and then watching it again with my wife, and then watching it again in my spare time. And that movie, it hits me on all the levels of why I like film. So it's just that is my favorite film now of all time. I really thought about it for a little bit there, not before this segment, but I've thought about it to like come to that conclusion.
Sure.
It really is good. It's just like the score, the sadness of the film, the sci-fi in it is great. Just the imagery. There's just so many good things about that. Matthew McConaughey, I think, gives the performance of his career in that. He disagrees. He thinks it's pretty goddamn good. Don't get me wrong, but he's got a couple more that he likes. But like, I think he was the perfect choice for that character. I'm so glad he got away from his rom-com stuff and got into the cycle of doing more dramatic things to get that role, because I don't know what that movie would be.
Well,
without him.
he had been gone for a while before, because it was like all anyone could talk about was Interstellar. That's Matthew McConaughey's return in a big Nolan film.
Yep.
Like, that's a big deal.
He was in a couple things before that. Like his work in True Detective was really good too. Like
True
before
Detective's
that.
great. The first
That's
season. Anyway.
First season
not,
was
that's not pre. That's not
yes,
pre.
yes, it is. It's 2011. Yeah,
it's been
Is
a
it
long
really?
time.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it
I
is.
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but like so
Iconic meme, by the way.
It really is.
Iconic meme.
But yeah, so Interstellar hits on so many of the things that actually hits on everything that I love about a movie. And it's like that's a 3.5 hour movie or something like that. It's
Close.
long.
It's close to it. Yeah.
And every second of that movie I'm locked in, because it even hits me on like a parental level at this point.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like I
Okay.
feel for him, like in all the things he's going through. So yeah, it's Interstellar for me.
Nice choice.
So, I mean, you picked two. Schindler's List does wonderful things with score and color. That's another thing Schindler's List does really well with color.
It does.
So, and like that's right around that same time with the big budget Hollywood stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In like I think the mid to late 90s is like that's Hollywood peaked and it's gone down since. It's never going to be that way again. It's just
there's a bold choice considering Avatar came out.
Well, there's a magic there that the production value I don't think will ever be matched in the late 90s, because they threw money at literally everything in the late 90s. Everything was so overproduced. It was overlit. It was movie stars were at their biggest. That's a special time for movies. But you chose two of those that are both Interstellar and Schindler's List are both their prime examples of what you can do when you combine image with sound and then introduce a little bit of color gradient. Oh my God. It's like those are just they're a master class of those kind of movies, how to make them. And you would throw Braveheart in the mix, and I'm sure what Roger's going to say, I don't know for sure what he's picked, but I think I know what his favorite movie is, but they're great example.
He gave me a heads up. He's going to lead him with Bad Boys 2. Go ahead.
Good. I was hoping he'd do Bad Boys 2.
That's right. That's right. Michael Bay, my sworn allegiance to you and all that you do that is perfection.
Perfect.
No, so I don't necessarily have two, but I do have two very different things.
Okay.
So for the longest time, I'm a Quentin Tarantino guy. You guys know we actually talked about that fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, my favorite movie was Pulp Fiction, and it's still very
It's a
highly
solid movie.
well, excellent movie, and it's the storytelling in that movie at the time was just so different. It was a segmented story told skipping across time, and if you don't watch the whole movie all the way through,
You
you
will not
don't
get-
know the whole
Yep,
story. Like
exactly.
you just don't. And to me, that was a big deal. Um, we joked that maybe you couldn't get a movie like that made nowadays. Maybe you could, maybe you couldn't. But like, I think Pulp Fiction, if you've never seen it, still holds up to this day as a very well-made movie.
Yeah.
Lots of big stars in that movie, especially for the time.
Oh yeah.
Excellent, easy movie to watch too because it is segmented. Everything is 15 to 20 minute
Mhm.
like clip vignette style, and they do all wrap up with a nice complete story as
Yeah.
well. So I've always loved that movie, and I always will. Fairly recently, though, well, not I guess not fairly recently. I have a newfound affection for a certain type of movie that I've
Moonfall.
realized. What's that?
Moonfall.
Yes.
Moonfall. Yes. The moon is a construct. One of my new favorite memes now is, when somebody talks about the moon, you'd be like, "Oh, so you're one of those moon believers." Right? Yeah, that's what you just out conspiracy theory them then. So you believe in the moon, huh? All right. But no, it's Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt, and I think that movie is a masterclass in time travel filmmaking. It's the tagline is "Live, Die, Repeat."
Mm-hmm.
It is a gentleman that is stuck in a time loop trying to get from point A to point B because they're fighting aliens and it's going to take over the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And we watch this man go from just some guy to an absolute killing machine, and I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
It looks great. It's well acted. This movie, even for as old as this now, still holds up. It just got a 4K remaster last year. Looks so good.
It's a good
Sounds so good. And I will stand by that as a excellent choice for anybody who likes sci-fi. I know I got you into that.
100%. Yep.
And I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
The time travel genre for me is one of the things I always find the most interesting.
Yeah.
Because every now and then somebody will change it up and give you a movie that is a time travel like movie that is just different and sticks out. And you'd be amazed about how many movies are time travel movies and you don't even realize it.
Yeah,
And
that's a fair point.
it's crazy. It's like one of my other really movie that I talked about, I know at least on this show one time, is I talked about Happy Death Day 2.
Yeah.
Which is a movie you wouldn't think is a time travel movie. It is absolutely a time travel movie. And if you like Edge of Tomorrow like I do, I would recommend watching the movie. So
I'm going to say this and not as a joke. It's going to sound like it, but also like I know you're a big fan of Hot Tub Time Machine as well.
I am, absolutely.
And that's even a time travel movie like in the comedy space. That's that kind of scratches that itch for you.
I just rewatched Hot Tub Time Machine, the first one.
Yeah,
a couple of weeks ago. It had been a long time.
Did you laugh?
Fucking belly laugh, man. Belly laugh at that.
A certain F word gets thrown around that you can't say anymore, but those were the
True.
But...
Definitely part of life.
Yep.
But yeah, it's one of the things that I love that genre, and every time we get a good option, I think it's because like I grew up watching Back to the Future.
Oh yeah.
And I love those three movies. Like they're all one movie to me.
Yeah.
I don't look at them ever separately. Like that whole story I think is great.
Yeah.
And I would love to see something like that come back sometime. It's been long enough. It's been 40 years. Let's get a movie like that going. So, or 30 years. So
yeah,
let's have at it. But yeah. So two completely different movies for me.
I mean, so like,
technically, Pulp Fiction you could look at as a time travel movie.
It's kind of interesting to think about, like like you mentioned the time travel thing, right? But like in a way, Pulp Fiction kind of time travels too.
It does because it jumps around.
Yeah, so like it's even kind of adjacent in a way.
Sure.
So like it isn't completely surprising when you dig into it, and the ensemble cast is like it's such a powerful thing when used right. And we talked about Snatch, a couple weeks ago as a movie recommendation, and I know we enjoy that film in some way, shape, or form. But like Pulp Fiction, I remember it being the first movie I watched where I was like, hey, after seeing Bruce Willis, I was like shocked because like we're already into this movie, and like he's just showing up. I just saw John Travolta, wait, they're both in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and like then like you see another big actor and another big actor. I'm like, what is this? And like I remember being like pleasantly confused. The God that describes my teenage years, doesn't it? But like I remember being just like confused and not sure of like what I was watching, because like I hadn't really been introduced to too many exposed to movies that like kind of like had the ensemble cast in in like a bigger way until like I watched movies like Pulp Fiction and like maybe like a handful of other ones. You know what I mean? So like Armageddon was the only other one
Armageddon's
I can remember,
a big one
like
for
growing
ensemble.
up, that like has like
Well,
has like
it's
a
a
bigger
big cast.
Huge cast. Bruce
Yeah,
Willis
so-
too.
That's nobody's favorite movie. So actually, that's somebody's favorite
That's
movie.
no, that's a lot of people's
Somebody's
favorite movie.
and I have to be
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Well, so here's the thing. You could say the same about Con Air.
It's true. It's true.
Big ensemble cast. Maybe not as quite on the caliber as like some of the things we just mentioned, but close.
Well, without getting into the weeds, though, if I had to pick one movie to watch right now, and the choices were Armageddon or Con Air, it's Con Air 100%.
Oh God, yeah.
Because it's
I
a
don't
better
know.
movie.
It's a better experience, I think.
Yeah, sure.
Because
And I don't have to hear that goddamn song.
Yeah, I think it's easier to sit down and watch any point of Con Air, where I think once you sit down to begin to watch Armageddon, no matter where you kind of sit in at, you're like invested in it.
True.
Like it's hard to just walk away and come back to Armageddon. Where like Con Air, you can you can watch our boy Bubba and anyone else like going through what they're going through and walk away and come back, and be just fine.
I don't. Armageddon's got the better moments though.
100%. But you know what?
100%
Again,
does, yeah.
if you have to watch the same movie on repeat forever, or it always be playing for you, I think Con Air's the choice. Just because you're also
easier
not
to
like
jump out and go. It's easier to
yeah.
detach from. Yeah, I get that, but
I do also think I hold the song against it because, like, I was coming through high school at that time frame, so the
Tough time.
it's that movie, that song was everywhere.
Oh yeah,
every minute of every school dance,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like,
yeah, I love that
God.
sappy stuff though. I loved it. Oh my goodness. That's a weird call out though, but those two, like any movie is someone's favorite movie. What I don't allow is like I won't allow anyone
listen to this guy.
I just don't. I mean, if anyone says one of the MCU films, like I'm sorry, you can't. It's not
Cap
No.
2.
You
Yeah, I was
can't.
gonna say
It's not because you need context from outside of that movie for that movie to make any
No, you
kind of
don't.
sense.
No, you
no,
don't.
Of course you do.
No,
Nope.
I could introduce any. I bet you if my grandmother were alive today, and I say, listen, you got to watch this movie. You're really gonna dig it, but you won't know anyone in it. I bet you she would love Captain America 2, man. Like she would love that film. And like,
But she doesn't know but you can't know the depth of it without knowing
not-
what became before it.
Captain America 2 is you don't get a good film because the depth of its characters that are explained outside of the movie. You get the enjoyment because it's a well written like spy thriller ride.
And it is
But
one
you
of the
don't
most
know who
movies that
anyone
would absolutely-
is without other context. You're not being
There's
fair
plenty of
here.
No,
You're not
I
being
am
fair.
being fair.
You cannot
What do you mean
start
fair?
with
There's no rules here.
Hold
you
on.
cannot start with Cap 2 and work your way forward
Hey,
and then be
Hold on.
satisfied.
No,
It could be a standalone movie, man.
Can you watch James Bond in any of its forms without having watched any other James Bond film?
Yes, because none of them before Craig, none of them had anything to do with each other.
Okay, so
Of course you could. You could watch like 46 of them without
the Hydra organization and how Captain America got his start are the only two things that you don't know, from a previous film, because every other character that's important is introduced in the film.
I'd have to go. I haven't seen it well enough to.
Here's the
soon
thing:
enough to know, but-
it's absolutely one of the MCU movies that could stand by itself and
Yeah,
have no
I think so.
problem.
And
It's fine.
and
we don't
I-
need to argue about Cap 2. today.
And I don't think you could watch Avengers Endgame, but I think you could watch Avengers Infinity War, and while you won't have the same investment as a lifelong fan, you'll get that these guys are going through a tough thing. You know what I mean?
It's a bad day at the end.
Yeah, and you can still tell it's a well-made film. Is the thing.
I don't know how much I agree with. Within context, I don't know how much I agree with. I don't know how much I agree with that, but I don't think what you're saying is wrong.
You think your grandmother would like Transformers: Age of Extinction?
My grandmother loved the Transformers movies.
It's good.
Loved them. She
But
was
they're
a fan.
fun. They're
She
fun
loved-
and they're easy
She
to
loved
watch.
Beast Wars though when I watched it in the mornings.
I fucking loved Beast Wars.
So I mean, she had good
that's
taste and she had
so different
questionable
though.
taste, you know what I mean?
So different. Never
Do you guys
mind,
ever
we're not
watch
gonna
the Roughneck Chronicles, the Starship Troopers show, the animated show
get-
Mhm.
No.
from back in the day? Yeah, it's like 4 seasons or something, but that was actually pretty fun too. So, thank you for that text. I appreciate that.
That's great.
It's I think okay. I'll accept. I just like I'm gonna need more of a. I need more of an episode to define that going forward. But yeah. So
Well, no. So like the conversation itself. Like, so we have 5 movies we picked, right?
Pretty much.
So we have Braveheart, we have Interstellar, we have Schindler's List, we have Pulp Fiction, and Edge of Tomorrow. Boys, I'd watch that 5 episodes, that 5 movie streak.
What a weird day that would be.
It
well,
would-
I'm gonna throw one out there. I'm gonna throw probably a
Oh,
number
you're-
2 that always competes as Last of the Mohicans. So
You
another
got some
one
long
that's
ass movies.
yeah,
you're
you
picking,
want-
man. You got some long. I mean,
Like,
I picked
look,
Interstellar and
yeah,
Schindler's List.
yeah, but I
you know.
mean,
Come on.
Grayson just blocked out 7 hours though. Like, and
my
that's
movies
too
are
much.
both my movies. Last of the 2 Mohicans is like 210. Braveheart's 230. Both of Chris's movies are longer than those.
I think so. I think he's
Yeah.
right, actually. But still, well,
Aw,
but like,
man.
I mean, that's one hell of a like of a movie lineup. You know what I
Sure.
mean? Like, you can't find somebody out there that would say all those movies are bad.
No.
You know, like somebody likes 1 or 2 of those films
Without being a complete contrarian, like there's no way you could do that.
There's people
Yeah.
that live to be that way, but
Yeah.
you know,
Of course.
yeah.
All right,
Man,
let's shift gears here. Let's
shifting
go to-
gears a little bit.
Oh, we're
well,
shifting.
Are
I'm-
we?
I have some episodes planned in the future after we have some conversations amongst ourselves, 3 of us, about taking our favorite movies and then dedicating actual episode
Yeah.
times to talking about why we love them, the characters, what made. I mean, I'm excited about that too. Something I didn't tell them was I probably should have communicated a little better, but
So that our show prep for the next couple of weeks.
all right,
Which is
switching
weird
gears.
because we did show prep today.
Let's
did.
talk about shifting gears as Roger mentioned. Let's talk about the movie of the week, The Smashing Machine. Stay
Hey,
tuned
you guys get this started. I'm gonna go take care of something.
That's fine.
All right, you do that.
We got it.
All right. Let's talk about Smashing Machine. Let's talk about some numbers, and we can refresh Chris on these when we come back. Now, Roger, have you seen the numbers for this?
How much money it made and how much it cost?
No. The Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no, I have not.
Please tell me you haven't, because if I told you this was sitting at a 74 and a 78, how would you respond?
Did they actually watch this movie?
I would say that I would ask the same question. And then the Metacritic, 5 points lower than a must watch. It's sitting at 65,
Really?
which I don't agree with. I will be forward and bold and brazen. I absolutely do not agree with those numbers as an assessment of this film. I do not.
No, it's
when
man.
when the first hour of your film feels like 12 hours, that's not you can't. 65 is way too high for this movie.
Yeah.
Metacritic, way too high.
No,
I just I feel that way. So
I do have some other numbers as well. The budget for this is like $51 million.
see, I could see that. I mean, I don't know exactly where it was.
I mean, that's
I thought
high
s-
for an A24 movie, and then it's probably not going to make that money back.
Well, I mean, it's not high when you consider when you look at internals from them about they have, they're like, oh well, are we okay risking a little more? We have The Rock and Emily Blunt. I can see why someone would be like, yeah, okay, that's a sure return. But also, if you remember, there was almost. Can you remember a movie before this that had as little marketing as this one did? I can't.
Well, so here's the thing: we had seen the preview for the Smashing Machine for a while, but I mean, obviously, we watched quite a bit of movies. I didn't realize that it wasn't getting any real mainstream marketing at all until like 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't remember seeing a thing about it on TV at all. Now, mind you, I used to watch wrestling, like WWE stuff, quite a bit. I kind of ebb and flow with that. I haven't watched much of it at all in the last couple of months, whatever last pay-per-view was I watched parts of, but was that SummerSlam or whatever? I assume that they'd been marketing it, for them because it is a Dwyane Johnson, The Rock, whatever you want to refer to him as at this point. I've been watching playoff baseball that it's been on. It was on that, but I don't think I remember seeing it like a regular commercial on like network TV for it at all. Like I don't.
I try to get there. I usually care about the trailers. Is like I haven't seen this trailer more than 2 or 3 times, and I usually get there for all the trailers.
Sure.
I want to be there
I
when
will
the
be
lights
honest.
go
I don't
down.
do that all the time at this point. Like we've discussed that here.
Well,
You know.
as long as I can get in and out under 3 hours of parking, which most movies
Hmm.
do fall in that even with trailers fall in
Sure.
that category, in and out in 3 hours, I'm fine. So usually it's when they start hitting 2:30, 2:35, I have to start like, okay, I have to get there 10 minutes later than I want to, but I usually get there when the lights go down and Nicole Kidman tells us how lucky we are to see it at AMC. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
Yep.
I don't remember seeing this trailer too many times. Like I just don't.
Back to talking about A24 and budgets for just a second. So $50 million is a lot for A24.
How much is Warfare?
Warfare is only 20 million.
And okay, and they did a lot
But
with that 20.
they did a lot. Well, here's the thing though. Civil War, which at the time was their most expensive movie that they had ever done, is also $50 million. So assume for the sake of argument that the Smashing Machine has the same budget as Civil War, which had a last 15 minutes, full set piece, downtown DC shootout. You know what I mean? And this basically has two people yelling at each other in a living room.
Well,
lot.
I mean, but Warfare and Civil
about-
War both have the advantage of a lot of the sets were outside. It was
Sure.
so you're not building sets. You're dressing up outside stuff. So a lot of them were that. Even the DC shootout that you talk about, it wouldn't have been. I don't think so. It wouldn't have been as expensive a set as I think it may have been because they would have cordoned off a street, put up there for a couple, maybe a month or two, built it, shot it, tore it down. Like it would have been a quick thing, unless that was part of a standing set, which could have been. I don't know. However, something like the Smashing Machine, though, it's not. A lot of it happens in the ring, but there's a lot of other things going on in this. There's a lot of moving back to the house, a lot of going back to the neighborhood, a lot of other places. So I mean, and Warfare, of course, is all in one place.
Yeah.
So there is
Well,
no
like-
budgetary concerns for that one.
I mean, I'm sorry I stepped away for a few minutes, but do you know like did you guys guess like what is the cost, like where all the budget cost comes from? Like
No.
it's got to be the fact that you have Dwyane Johnson and Emily Blunt in this, right? Like
I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know because I didn't look and honestly don't care too much about it.
yeah,
This is a kind of movie because it is A24. They're not coming in and be like, I need 15 million for this movie because A24 just be like, then we're
No.
not going to do this movie.
Yeah.
You can't remember A24 is a slightly different animal.
I know, I get that, but like I'm okay. Just like A24 will say, "Hey, I'm not, we're not doing this for more than this much." The star power you have, and especially with Dwyane Johnson, you have to also think about the fact that like he's probably like, I don't do anything for less than X millions.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So like so at some point those two Goliaths are gonna meet and like come to an agreement in the middle somewhere. So like while Dwayne's probably not getting 30 million, for a contract to do this film, there's a good chance he's getting a large percentage of the budget of this film of it.
Well, so
Well,
he might
he
get
was,
back end stuff
he was
too.
also a producer, though. So, I mean, I imagine back end's kind of the way it's been going for 10 or 15 years. So there's huge stars. Emily Blunt, I think, would have caved for a lot less. I think she's more of an artist than Dwyane Johnson. I don't mean
Sure.
I don't mean to say anything bad about this.
that's
I just mean she's
that's-
more of like the indie kind of person than Dwyane is. But
Yeah.
So the mammoth would have been Dwyane, and
she's a better actor.
she is. Oh, but I mean, by far. She wouldn't have been hard to bring in. He would have been. I don't know. Chris is right. I mean, maybe he doesn't. And I could tell you
yes.
from, everything I heard working on when I was on Bad Boys 4, because of course Red 1 was finishing up, but we had like 2-month overlay between us, and they were finishing up, and I heard that his paycheck was insane. Like,
Well, yeah,
massive.
but like, and don't get me wrong, negotiating tactics probably change
Yeah,
when you're
good for him.
when you're looking at Netflix or you're looking at
Prime, yeah.
A24, or anybody
I'm
else.
sorry, that was a Prime movie, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whoever it is, but it's like well, because like he was in Red Notice too, right? And he got an insane
And that
contract for
movie's
that movie.
bad.
Yes.
I mean, that makes Red 1 look good,
Yeah.
which is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's I'm sure he didn't get like 30, 40, 50 million, obviously, but like, while A24 might give someone 7 to 8 at the most, he may have got 12 to 13, you know what I mean, of that,
11
of that
plus,
amount. Yeah. It's possible.
Well, did you run through all the particulars here,
I
Grayson?
will in a second. Chris, do you know what the numbers are real quick for this? I know you had to step away for a second.
Metacritic
No
and
idea.
Rotten Tomatoes.
So 74 and 78 on Rotten Tomatoes. I
Okay.
am perplexed. And 65 Metacritic. Now keep in mind 70s must watch.
Yeah. So didn't this get a lot of buzz for having it getting like a 15-minute standing ovation or something at some festival at
It
premiere or
did.
some stuff?
I've heard that, yes.
Has anyone ever have confirmed they were a part of that ovation? I don't know.
I was there.
So
I booed audibly.
it's one of those. It's just
But didn't it open it? People did a standing ovation, and this thing opened at $6 million.
yes.
Are you serious?
Well,
That doesn't.
so-
Those two things don't line up to me.
Well, it does though, because like this is a critic movie,
Yeah, this
and
is not. Yeah, this isn't your blockbuster. Everyone's here to see this thing happen. This is Dwyane Johnson for the first time in his career having to act.
you don't think it was the same people standing up when Captain America picks up Mjolnir at the end of Endgame? Wasn't the same kind of crowd reaction?
Yeah. Sure.
I doubt it.
Yeah, it's just I understand like art. Like, there are artsy movies. I don't even know if that's what this qualifies as. This feels like one step away from being a documentary. And
Okay, that's fair.
Not in a bad way, you know what I mean? But those old documentaries where they would have actors like acting out the things as well.
There is a documentary about this, about Mark Kerr.
Oh yeah, I don't.
That is similar to this movie.
Yeah.
So
it felt like one or two steps away from being that instead. And A24 does its thing. It definitely has it's shot very specific in a very specific way that they wanted to make it fit kind of like the timepiece and period.
It feels very early, like late 90s, early 2000s film. For better or
people
for
that are
worse.
looking for that kind of thing out of their films, of course they're gonna be they're going to be highly rating this film, or they're going to be singing its praises and such, because they're not there to see big huge action set pieces. They're not there. They're there to see the drama behind all this and the craftsmanship that A24 might bring to something like this.
Sure.
But I mean, all that to say, it all depends on how you feel about the meat of the movie as well around that. And I don't know, those scores are a little bit suspect in my opinion, but
they're a little high. But let's talk about
Disagree.
it. Let's written and directed by Benny Safdie, of course, a smaller cast: Dwyane Johnson, Emily Blunt, and Ryan Bader as Mark Coleman, the other Bader.
Yeah.
The other, what I was wondering, one of the things I was wondering, I told Roger this, Chris, before you arrived today, was it seemed like this was more of a Mark Coleman story than a Mark Kerr story to me. It seemed like that would have been the better avenue to choose, maybe.
Well, Coleman's story is interesting as well. Coleman, he has his own history and background on why he was big for for all the things that began in the upcoming UFC phenomenon that we live in now. But I don't know. I think that in every movie you either need the antithesis of your lead or something that that is parallel to the lead, and I think he serves that purpose pretty well here. He's a family man, right? I don't know if his story and his home life is as exciting or as
exciting. That's the word you're
as
using?
dramatic, drama filled,
dysfunctional
as Kerr's maybe. So I maybe you can't make as interesting of a film. You know what I mean? And also Coleman probably just wants left alone compared to what Kerr does. So in that regard. Grayson, after you're done with all the particulars, if you have anything left, we can count in for thumbs up, thumbs down too.
All right, I don't. There was a very small cast. I mean, Safdie's name is all over this. He even edited it. I saw he was the editor for this too. It's look, I mean, that's not unheard of. So this is definitely his baby. And another kind of question that we can keep in our minds as we're discussing this is, now it seemed odd to me, but I'm not left with the impression that Dwyane Johnson, as A-list and a big opener as he is, and Emily Blunt were the right casting choice for this. Now that's just what I want to throw out there as we continue to talk about this. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
Yeah, no, I have a response to that, but
Okay.
I'll count us in for thumbs up, thumbs down. So this is for if we thumbs up or thumbs down the movie The Smashing Machine with starring Dwyane Johnson and Emily Blunt in 3, 2, 1.
I was down. I was gonna be down.
Yeah.
I told
Yeah.
myself I was gonna be down.
Yeah, I'm a big down on this one.
Yeah.
So, I'm just gonna say it, and I'm gonna be as nice as I can about it. This movie's fucking boring.
It is boring.
That's very eloquently put.
I had
I agree with you 100%.
Like,
this movie's boring. 3 words, done. One contraction. Yeah, done.
I understand that this movie is probably very interesting to a percentage of people, and I have no doubt that there are people out there that are going to love this movie for whatever reasons they do. 15-minute standing ovations and all that. I get it. But the movie
Suckers.
I watched, I haven't been that bored in a movie in a long time.
Yep.
Like a really,
So
really long
one of the
time.
things I told Roger was, so when I get there, I try to get there when lights dim. When Nicole Kidman starts telling us how lucky we are to be watching.
Oh,
it.
yes, thank you.
I try to
Thank
get there
you.
when lights dim. So, and this one there was a solid 30 minutes of. So my viewing was 8:30 a.m., which was fantastic. By the way, I
Awesome.
love those early showings. So
Mhm.
I looked at my watch at 10 o'clock, and I stared at it. I was like, that can't be right, because that means 30 minutes of trailers and then an hour of movie time. But I, honest to God, thought I had been sitting there for 2.5 hours. After,
Yeah.
so I looked, I'm like, only an hour has gone by. Are you kidding me?
There was a moment where I thought about leaving, and the only reason why I thought about leaving wasn't because I was so upset, but I thought, if I leave right now, nothing changes. Like, I'll know exactly how this ends. I'll be like, I don't think I'm going to be any more entertained than I am right now, which is extremely little.
Yeah.
And I think I can still talk about what this movie has to offer. Like,
So-
I was, it was like an hour in. I was like, I could leave right now. And
That's
I
probably the
ch-
same point. I looked at my watch and was like,
I
God, this is
checked my
dragging.
watch so many times.
Yeah.
on this movie. And the thing is, right, is if you look at this story on paper, you'd be like, all right, this guy's got some issues,
Mhm.
obviously, but he's like a legend in the fight game, and there should be a good story here, at least an entertaining story.
Mhm.
But there's not.
There's not.
And the actual story is this weirdly dysfunctional relationship that he has with Dawn, played by Emily Blunt,
Mhm.
who is absolutely wasted in this movie, because her character, either that person sucks that bad or her character is just that poorly written, which both may be true.
Yeah.
Both
yeah.
may be true. It's like we watch him train a little bit, fight, win or lose. Spoiler, he loses a couple of fights. And then we watch their weirdly dysfunctional relationship that leads to them, smashing stuff in their living room, punching doors, and cutting cactuses, which is weird, and none of it is entertaining.
Cacti?
It's
Cacti.
depressing, and it's not depressing in like the art form of depressing.
No, yeah, no.
It's like not depressing like, oh, this is a sad story. It's depressing because it's boring.
Yeah.
And like, he has an opioid addiction. Okay.
Yeah.
That could be a good story. Somehow it's like a secondary story beat here.
Yeah.
Like he gets, she gets mad at him because he's high all the time, which for good reason.
Yeah.
She should be mad at him.
Yeah.
He goes to rehab, for 21 days.
Gets better.
Gets clean.
Mhm.
Congrats to him.
Yeah.
Seriously, like,
Yep.
no joke. That's good for you. Because apparently he stayed clean, which is awesome. He comes back and they immediately get in a fight. And then she calls him out for calling his sponsor.
Yeah.
Like, you're a shitty person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's also a shitty person, but you're being way shittier right now.
Well, can I? So if I can tell you what I go into these things is like knowing, if I'd have known that Mark Kerr, which I didn't, I don't know anything about this guy before. As a matter of fact, I thought when we were seeing the early footage, I thought we were watching a movie about early Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I had no idea.
Oh my God, his hair is so terrible in this movie.
yeah.
It's fucking awful.
When I found out, so the opioid addiction, my brain would automatically go to, okay, that's why Emily Blunt's here. Emily Blunt is here to be the one that he loves so much, but she wants to
No, that's not even the
reciprocate-
case.
Nope.
but she wants to reciprocate but can't because he's a man who's addicted to opiates and he's a man who loves the sport more than her, and she's fighting that. So that's where I thought that the complexity of having someone like Emily Blunt who could navigate that stuff on screen from the page to us was a valued asset. However,
That is not what happened.
none of that comes across at all. It doesn't. To me, that's like, are you kidding me? Did I just see something that Benny Safdie did not see? I now that can't be the case because I'm not saying that Benny Safdie is a far brighter man than I'll ever be, but
True.
it's. Thank you for that confirmation. Appreciate that. I'm just saying. So
Yes.
maybe when you look at it on paper and saying someone like me who's like, okay, or that joke Roger makes about pay me $1 million a year and I'll tell you yes or no. We'll take that a step further and say,
No, I would have said yes to this if I read if you read a Wikipedia page about this movie in the story part, you probably think this would make a good movie.
Yeah.
And it doesn't.
No. This is what, like, in the alternate timeline where Roger is the script reader
The
guy.
czar.
Yeah,
The script czar.
in this timeline, Roger reads the script, approves of it, and then 2 years later, the movie gets made, makes no money. And they go, Roger, what the hell? And he goes, I don't know how you guys screwed this up.
well, no.
Look what you've done.
What I was saying is take that a step further, and then Roger reads this after receiving his weekly,
Million.
thing,
His
$1 million.
stipend.
and says, I know that character might be shitty, but you're making a movie that you expect people to watch. You need to make her less shitty and more of the thing that he's going to lose if he doesn't shape up.
Well,
if it's Emily Blunt, you need to Emily Bluntify that character on the page to give her something to work with.
So I have a counter argument to that.
Mm-hmm.
And it may sound weird, but I think you guys will get it. I don't even think she needs to be more redeemable. She could be worse, and I might appreciate that character more. Because, like, she's not a good person. He's not a good person. Like, we
Yeah.
can agree, like,
Yeah.
generally together.
They're not good together.
No, they
for
are
sure.
not good together.
Yeah.
Neither one of them is particularly egregious, minus his drug addiction, which he does
Yeah.
seek help for.
Yeah.
And I that again is a thing. Even when she comes back and she comes home drunk, all right, that's a pretty shitty thing to do. But even then, that's not you're not irredeemable. That's just something that happens. You have to understand he's in, rehab, he needs to be clean, and you should, probably follow suit, at least in some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not even the worst part. It's just these people hate each other and they just don't know it.
Yeah. I mean,
and it's not even in they're bad for each other.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess maybe from like the producing standpoint and the storytelling standpoint, is like you're telling a very relatable story. Billions of people get into relationships that aren't good, for them all the time, right? Like you get with somebody for XY reason, and then you end up not.
Oh yeah, there's lots of bad relationships out there.
Yeah,
Sure.
so it's like you could always argue it's just they're telling the accurate story of like from Mark Kerr's perspective on like
I assume
how
that
this
they
went.
are too, though.
I think so too. I mean,
I think they have to be. I mean, how it's written, I think they have to be.
He was on Joe Rogan like right after his movie premiered, and like he gave a lot of green lights like for things to happen in this film.
Good.
So, you know what I mean?
Well, for these characters to be written like that, it either has to be gross incompetence in the writer or true to form.
It's absolutely spot on, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if it's
That's
like
fair.
that, then it has to
That's
be.
fair.
But again, I get A24 thinking about I was going through the roster of films over the past 2 years, and like they do chase the names, and I'll give them that, and they do have that very filmic look on almost everything that they do.
Yeah.
It's artistically, it's more of a pinky up than Netflix or some other streamer. Like they
kind of their gig. Yeah.
they tend to put passion behind these tinier projects that are getting bigger and bigger. And I think what's more important to them was, I don't know how detrimental having Dwyane Johnson, Emily Blunt in these roles was to the movie, which I keep coming back to, but it's not often that I'm like sitting in a theater like, I just don't think they were the right casting for this. I just don't.
So the one thing that I will say to counter that is, if you look at a picture of Mark Kerr at his peak, Dwyane does look a good bit like him.
Yes.
Including the shitty hair. Like that's definitely part of it. And the one thing that I never think feels out of place is the sheer size of Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Because generally, when you see him in movies, and without being stupid here, let me just compare it to his character Hobbs
Yeah.
in Fast and Furious, right? Like Hobbs is a huge man, always wears skin tight clothes, just somehow looks even bigger.
Yeah.
In this one, like you see him as like his full physique most of the time. They even have his tattoo covered up,
Yep.
so like you don't see his big tribal thing that he's had for years and years, and somehow it makes him look bigger.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Because the one thing that this movie does, what I would consider well, is when he's delivering punches, like the way they have the sound in the impact, like it sounds like somebody is smashing something.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. And now it works in reverse too, because like when he takes his beating, you hear him take his punishment.
Yeah.
And like that to me seemed very well done and real.
Agreed.
It's just the rest of the story just doesn't stand up to that.
Well, like, so the action doesn't carry this movie.
No, it doesn't.
And the reason-
there's too little of it.
Well, yeah. Well, and the reason why it doesn't is because it's not what A24 is highlighting at all.
Yeah.
The action is a side piece to the rest of the story they're telling. Whereas, like, while the subject of the action is important to the characters, in the film,
Mhm.
it's not the focus of the film.
Not the
so-
full focus.
correct.
So, like, so in a movie like this that has action in it, but it isn't the thing you're there for or the thing the movie is built around. It's impossible for it to carry it, right? So like,
Yeah.
So like, while it's there, and when the action on screen's happening, it's well done, believable, and all the things it needs to be. It's never like what you're there to why you're meant to be there to see. It's you're watching the story and the drama of the character, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, huh. And I think what pulls me even further away from liking the film is because the action isn't the focal piece, and there's not like all the set focus and build up and anticipation for the fight. It's centered on the character. The action can't save it, and my brain's like it wants something exciting, so I'm ready for the action to hit. But when the action doesn't hit because it's not meant to hit, it's like I'm even more deflated as more and more scenes go on.
Well, and the part of that too is, and I don't mean to skip to the end, but I'm going to
No,
for
yeah.
a second, is he doesn't win. And, that obviously this is a true story, or
Yeah.
at least, most of it is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
true story. So you can't have him win and have it, be
Yeah,
true to the
yeah.
thing, be true to the story. But like when he loses, especially when he loses the second time,
Mhm.
you don't even care. I didn't care.
Yeah.
You don't care at all. And I mean, I guess that's the point of that. Like from the story beat is, when he's in there taking a shower and he's just like relieved.
Yeah.
Like it's washed off. Like that to me is probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah. Well, like that's his arc, though,
Well,
right?
that is right, because it's the end, and it's just like it's okay that I lost.
exactly. Yeah.
Like I'm happy for my friend who didn't
Mhm.
lose.
Yep.
And honestly, it's probably a relief because Coleman was going to kick the shit out of him.
Yeah.
So let's just be honest here. But yeah, like that is the one part of this movie, and like I'm not here to shit on The Rock for like not being a great actor, right?
He
Like,
does good in this.
well, but that's the thing, right? I think he does very well here.
Mhm.
I think the story itself just doesn't allow him to be super emotional, because the one thing about Mark Kerr is especially if you watch like all the way through this movie, like you see the actual guy, like he's super soft spoken,
Mhm.
like very intelligent.
Mhm.
And I think Dwayne does a good job of portraying that, even to the point. Remember when he's in a doctor's office the first time
Mhm.
and he's talking to the old lady about what he does
Yeah.
and talking to the little kid? Like that's a genuine moment.
Yeah.
There's not enough of that, because we get to see him sitting there being aloof in his living room as his girlfriend breaks a bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we get more of that, which is, I mean, I understand it's supposed to be tough to watch and it's supposed to show you how awkward their relationship is. It just doesn't translate to me on the screen as something that I find entertaining. And I guess it doesn't have to be entertaining. It has to help further the story.
Mhm.
I don't think it does that either.
Yeah.
All it does is double down like these people shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
And again, not trying to harp on like people make bad relationship choices all the time, but they end up together in the end, sort of.
Yeah.
And like the story does document that they do get married, they do have a child, but they get divorced 6 years later.
Yeah.
It's almost like they
factual stuff,
realize.
though.
Well,
It's
that's what I
factual
mean,
stuff.
though.
It's
Like these people probably shouldn't have been together.
Yep.
So,
but it's, and I want to talk about another movie. It's going to be a weird, but Bass Rutten, who is in a lot of Kevin James things. It's hard for me.
the
not
trainer guy, yeah.
Yes, it's hard for me not to compare this movie in a weird way to a movie like Here Comes the Boom, which it's a silly movie. There's a lot of
I actually like that
That was
movie.
a cool movie,
It's all,
actually.
yeah,
yeah,
it's
that's
all
my
right.
point. Is like I think a lot of people that watch that like, okay, it's all right, but it's very plot convenient. It's Bass Rutten has a very comedic role in that. He's in this too.
Bader's the guy he fights at the end of that movie too, who
Yeah.
plays Mark Coleman.
Oh, really?
That's the same guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't
That's
realize
the
that.
same dude. Yeah, the
Um,
guy's got all the tats and like actually,
Ken Dietrich,
he actually taps him at the end. Yeah, that's the guy.
So in that one, I feel like there's bigger. I feel like the stakes in even in the silly version of this movie, which is Here Comes the Boom. I feel like the stakes were higher in Here Comes the Boom. Maybe it's because it wasn't. It was the script kind of allowed that to be
Character's so much more likable.
well that, but also he's fighting so kids they don't see a failure in the ring, and like the nerds at school, like they see what someone can do, the power of what something the human spirit can triumph. And then for me that goes to Cinderella Man, where it's not MMA, it's boxing in the 20s, the Depression era, Jim Braddock, Russell
Excellent movie,
Crowe.
by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, it should have been the movie I picked, so I'd win the movie battle bracket. Just
But
saying,
it's
I didn't
here's
do
the
that.
thing is, even Renee Zellweger as the wife is like, she's concerned because boxing back then is so dangerous because there's no safety precautions for any of it.
No,
Not
you
that there are
just
any,
die.
not that there are any now, but at least like now we have the medicine to back up things. But and even then it's like she's praying for her husband. Like the people at church are at church listening to a radio. It's like he's got the community behind him. It's like that's a well-crafted film that just like, even when in the end, for example, when he goes down and he's seeing the flashes of his kids in the bread line, and he's seeing what happens if he loses, and he saw a few fights before that, his mouth guard was knocked out and blood flying everywhere, and like then there's the score from Thomas Newman and then he evades the punch and then hits back at Max Baer, and then like you see people literally, like everyone gets out of their seat and rushes the ring. Like that's a moment of excitement that even talking about it now makes the hair on the back of my neck stand out, because that's a movie moment. It's like also we didn't have any of that in a movie about MMA, about the little guy. Well, figuratively, the guy who's less capable of winning in this instance. We didn't. A sports movie like this needs to have a moment like that, and it never did.
The entire scene of Jim Braddock getting his mouthpiece knocked out, walking over and picking it up, spitting, putting it back in, and smiling is more charismatic than any second of this movie.
That's my
and I mean
point.
that seriously.
That's the point. Is like, even with
right, like that's a small part of that movie that is a very excellent part of Cinderella Man, and nothing in this movie even resembles that.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
I mean, here's the thing though. That's probably unfair to Smashing Machine, because Cinderella Man was a Best Picture nominee, right? Or was it a winner?
No, nominee. It was a nominee. It didn't win though.
Okay. Smashing Machine, I'm sure somebody's like, oh, they should get some critical acclaim here, and that's fine. It just doesn't really do that for me. Like, look, if you like Smashing Machine, that's great. I hope it told a good story that you appreciated, and I hope it's true to its word. It's just for a movie like this for me, because it's not overly long and it feels long, and that's bad.
Yeah.
This movie clocks in at like 2:05, so it's not like outside the realm of crazy long.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd think in a movie that has like fighting in it that there would be more action.
Okay, so I mean, Grayson says something along these lines too, like a fighting sports movie, like there's no stakes and stuff in it, but the movie's not trying to put stakes on it. Like he doesn't need this $200,000 prize. It's life-changing money. They keep on saying it's life-changing money, but like there's never a point where he's like, I have no money to pay bills.
True.
He's never in strife unless he gets this win.
Actually, what does Dawn do?
She looks pretty.
Yeah,
she does. That's true.
but it's like he's not, like they never put him in like they show you that he's having a little bit of money stuff, but like nothing that's like they're never like at risk of leaving their home over it. And, like,
he is offering to buy his drugs straight out though, so
he's
got some money.
Yeah. So
I will tell you I will tell you the textbook answer, Chris. Then you don't have a movie. If you don't have if you don't have a third act in a moment that defines it, you don't have a movie, and that's
I
pure and
disagree with
simple.
that. I
I mean,
disagree with that
I don't.
because
Every movie you watch, why was the ending of the movie 2009? Zack Snyder did it. Superheroes, bad ones. The comedian. What was that? The Watchmen. Why does it? What does everyone say about the culmination of that film? What does
too much
everyone
blue
say?
dick.
No, it's like
Oh.
Not enough blue dick.
There it is.
Mm.
no. What does everyone say when they're with Ozymandias in the temple? What do they say? Nothing happens and the movie ends. That's the
So
one thing that
Oh, you
movie's
just see
remembered
it
for.
evaporates.
so
Rorschach
the big third act thing isn't the fight though. It's his arc. It's the way he handles it all. That's the story that they're telling in the third act. That's his and I'm not saying like I'm not like defending that. I'm just saying like it's there. It's just not
It's
exciting.
not good.
Well, sure,
Like,
and
Well,
I
exciting.
okay.
Exciting is a
Yeah.
better word.
Yeah, but yeah, because like the movie goes through the entire 3-act structure. You get your 3-act story. You get you get the hero set up, you get his downfall, you get his struggle and his rise up, and then you get the moment where he overcomes. You get all of that. It's just not the fighting. It's his character
I
growth.
guess you're right.
And I'm not saying and I'm not saying that like that's why you should like this movie, because I don't like this movie. It's just boring. But like A24 wasn't delivering a fighting sports spectacle movie that needed to be exciting for you for that reason, because that was never the story they were telling, and it's highlighted by the fact they didn't put a huge thing on the $200,000 prize. They didn't,
Yeah.
like it's so much not a big deal in this film that the other guy wins.
True.
Yeah, but it's not like we get the sequence where, and I mean, it's all kind of, you skew the perspective of how you want to tell the story. It's like this is a movie, it's art. I understand it's somewhat recent, so like we have the events and they're documented. The guy's alive and well, and he remembers very well. But again, like you, as a producer of this, you got to say at some point, guys, we need something here. We can't just have, but he realized he overcome. It's not like he realized during the fight what he was losing in Dawn had he continued down this path, because the movie ends without them even it just ends with they're on, like, she's off.
Well, she's
been
committed,
taken off.
right?
That's the thing, is like there is a sequence with she goes to kill herself with a gun. I don't mind spoiling that because it's a moment that is, you can Google it. So again, it's like that also could have been, you could rework that a little bit, have that be one of the set pieces, have that be where he's told her, you're not coming to Japan. And she, of course, as a woman, hears that as, why? I should be your everything. And she's having trouble. And then he goes to Japan and she's listening to it or watching it. And she's about ready to do it. And then he loses. And then she doesn't. I don't know. Rework the situation a little bit.
You're changing a true story, though.
I don't know
You
if
know,
it makes it
yeah.
more exciting though. Well, again, in order for it to be exciting, you would have to be excited about both of the characters' stories and the
Sure.
characters. I'm not
I get that.
excited about them because A24 doesn't deliver that either. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like I'm not excited if Dawn doesn't doesn't end up offing herself because he loses at the last second. You know what I mean? Or I'm not excited that he overcomes and wins the big prize money because he doesn't need it. Like they haven't stressed that.
Yeah.
He realizes in the moment, with all those flashes, that it's not like losing Dawn over it. He realizes in those flashes that
He doesn't care.
it's not what defines him. Because before he had never lost a fight, and that's what defined him.
Yeah.
He couldn't even imagine losing, and then he goes for the next 30 minutes of the movie losing everything. So it's himself, his girlfriend, like his grip, his fight, like all of it. So it's like they're telling a story, and I would challenge you that A24 doesn't need this to be exciting, because A24 doesn't really give a crap. They do their thing and they tell the story they want to tell. And sometimes it's artistic, sometimes it's exciting. Sometimes it has a message.
Well,
sometimes it just
flag on the field. They of course care about box office. They're not going to look. I don't care.
I never said they don't care about box office.
Well, then you're not okay. Well, here's the thing about that is, like, you can't. if you make a movie that's not exciting for people to watch, then you deserve $6 million. That's all you deserve.
You get what you get.
What about
Period.
this movie made you think that they wanted you to be excited while
Well,
watching?
can I pose a counter question
Yeah.
that's similar though?
Yeah.
So by the end of this movie, do you care?
I mean, no.
No, I mean that seriously,
Yeah,
right?
I don't.
Like you would think we had watched a story of a man who basically was at the top of the fight game.
For what he was doing.
Yeah, for what he was doing, he was like the best. He had
Mhm.
never lost, and by the end of it, like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm happy that this dude kicked drugs. You know, I'm happy that she didn't blow her brains out in the bathroom. Like that's not even a joke. Happy that she didn't do that. But like, I don't care about these people.
Yeah.
And like, this is not some slight at Mr. Mark Kerr. I'm proud of you, man. But like, this movie doesn't do you any justice.
It doesn't.
Like,
It really doesn't.
It doesn't make me feel like, since I didn't know this story, that now that I know this story, I'm more educated, or I should feel better, or you know, I now know more about a character that was very important in early Pride and UFC. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And like, I like UFC generally. Like, I like combat sports. I still watch wrestling from time to time. I talked about that a little bit ago. I don't care.
Mhm.
Like, your story, like, man, I'm happy for you as a person, but your story's kind of whack. And like, look, I understand like not everybody gets there. Hollywood, you know, raise the belt on your way, you know, back across the pond, and you know, I'm the great conquering hero. I get not everybody gets that, but I don't think it matters to me if you'd have won. I don't think I would have cared.
I think the story they're telling is that I don't even think they're trying to tell like a story about like a triumph. I think they're just showing the things that like some of the early guys went through, guys like Mark Kerr and like the other guy, like the things that they went through before UFC what it was today. Because like they're a big reason why we do have that phenom, right?
Sure.
So like I think this is just telling. I think the movie highlights at the very end, like you know, like you know, no one knows this guy, like really, like his story is unknown. It's not a great story. It's not a very flashy story, but it's a story of like someone who if this was like the Dana White story, this thing would have
God,
made.
I don't ever want to watch that.
This thing would have made 48 million, right? Because there's enough people that are fans of Dana White and the UFC that they would have went and saw this. You know, Mark Kerr doesn't have those fans, but like
no, he just doesn't.
That's the point they're making, right? It's like, you know, you don't know this guy.
You don't.
You know, this is his shitty story. This is what he went through, and he's one of the reasons why the UFC that you watch today is
what it is. Sure.
You know what I mean? Like that's what they're doing.
I get that.
Doesn't mean it's good.
No.
Doesn't mean it's entertaining. Doesn't mean it's fun.
The other part of it is too is I haven't seen anybody that I know say anything about this movie.
Yeah.
Even some of and generally I don't care how other people review a movie. You know, I review it for me and me alone. I guess us is a better way to look at that.
Thanks, babe.
You got it, man. But like even like the big reviewers are just like, this movie doesn't really pay anything off.
Yeah.
And you get a lot of people, like, if you go through the Rotten Tomatoes scores, and just remember how Rotten Tomatoes works, just a quick refresher, is for the critic score, all you have to do is give it a 5 out of 10 or anything
6 out of 10?
Well, anything higher than a 5 out of 10 is scored positively. Okay. There are so many people that are like 2.5 out of 5, like dead nuts down the middle.
Yeah.
And I understand that is because like this movie has bits and pieces that could be good, and none of it comes together for me to make me care about a complete movie.
Yeah.
And when a movie is not exciting and feels long, that's bad. Because there's not a good story that is like vocalized that you have to put these pieces together. It's not some sort of murder mystery here. It's very straightforward, and you just generally don't care.
Here's my gripe, and it's maybe I didn't do a good job articulating it. I guess Chris, I think we just kind of had this minute conversation a second ago. It's like, imagine something like Black Hawk Down, something that it's well documented what happened when they were in some of those collection points, but when someone makes an argument that says, no, those two had a conversation, the Hartnett character, Sergeant Eversman, had a conversation with him about not being able to do his duty. But though it may have been a 4-sentence exchange that lasted 3 seconds, let's dress it up. Let's put some of that wonderful Zimmer score behind it. Let's put some stakes where this guy's dying on the table, and then Edward's meant to step up and make a choice, and Eric Bana comes over. Choose who lives, who dies. Like, dress it up.
Okay.
My only thing is, like, I understand, but there's nothing
but
exciting in this in an
okay,
MMA film. There's nothing exciting here.
but no, it's not an MMA film.
It's Mark Kerr's
It's a
story.
Kerr film
Sure,
with MMA
fine.
in it.
It's
But,
a history. What is it appropriate to call it a Mark Kerr biopic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well then it's a historical biopic about
Yeah.
someone who's still alive, but there's nothing you saying you can't make it exciting.
Well, hold on. But no, I don't disagree with you, like conceptually, but at the same time, Black Hawk Down is a dressed up movie. Nothing about this movie was dressed up. Not a single scene was dressed up.
I
know what I mean?
I
So-
now understand that, but I guess going to your earlier statement about why would you think people want to see this is like, I was excited because I love Emily Blunt.
Oh,
I
no.
love A24. I
Yeah.
love The Rock. Like, why wouldn't this is
No.
such an easy choice for
I
me
mean,
to make.
like, as we talk about movies that we're going to see to talk about,
This one was never in question that we were going to see this.
yeah,
movie.
because it's got The Rock and Emily Blunt in it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and it's about UFC
no,
or whatever,
yeah.
mixed martial arts.
A24 like knew what
That's
they're
my
doing with casting
point.
decision.
That's my
I
point.
get
It's
it.
like, what I'm saying is, like, they knew, they had to say to themselves, guys, people are gonna this is gonna draw the biggest possible age demographic.
Well,
I'm just confused why you wouldn't capitalize on that is all.
who else in Hollywood would you pick to play Mark Kerr that might possibly have the acting? Because again, we were like, okay, before this movie, we weren't sure about The Rock being able to act.
No, because he just plays The Rock.
Yeah, he does a good job in this.
Yeah.
He even like by Mark Kerr's own words when he went on Joe Rogan, he said his son called him like mid movie and said like, dude, this guy sounds just like you. He's his son said like he got his dad's mannerisms, like his mannerisms, the way he talks, his speaking cadence, all of it like spot on. That's acting, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So
doing what you're supposed to do.
I don't have
Yeah.
a problem. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, that's not. I guess
Yeah.
I guess my perplexity comes in with why the last act didn't, or the end of the second act didn't have that moment. It didn't have that moment where you're like, that's why, my friend, you have to go watch that movie.
Yeah.
Well, because that moment didn't happen, and that's not the story. I feel like, there's a good chance that even Mark Kerr was like, hey, keep it as accurate as possible. That's all I
Yeah.
ask. You know what I mean? And then they're like, okay, and that's what they did. You know what I mean? And I think they made a decent film out of it. It's boring, but it's we've seen worse movies.
No, so that's the thing too. Is you're 100% correct with that. And the last thing that I'll say about it is, well, I don't necessarily think this movie is bad. It's really just not entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think that's very damning for a movie that does have The Rock in it. It does have Emily Blunt, and it is a story about a Pride /UFC /MMA fighter that overcomes some bad shit in his life.
That's my point, though. It's like,
and you would think it would be more interesting. And it's just really not.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like all the elements in place.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. That, I mean, fair enough. That was our expectation.
Yep.
Right. Like unanimously that we thought this was going to be more exciting, which is why we all crazy enough gave it a thumbs down.
Yeah.
Well,
because it wasn't exciting.
Exciting might not be the right word. It's thrilling or riveting or something that makes you check your watch 600 times.
Well, it wasn't entertaining, and deep down, I didn't care about the story at the end of the movie. That's the problem.
Yeah. And
because look, even if it was a different type of movie, like it wasn't like action packed and like this big, like I'm an awesome guy, Mark Kerr. Like I get it. It could be a sad story. That's fine. We've seen plenty like that. I enjoy some sad stories sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, like
not here.
I would argue just to give a numbers breakdown and budget. Like we got $6 million worth of fight scenes in this, where it would have been cool if maybe we got like a $10 million last fight scene, maybe, and like maybe then like we have like a better time with the film. But like that's just not where the money went in this movie, and that's not what their focus was. And we expected more with the cast. Yep. So
I expected a better movie. That's all.
Yeah,
I expected a movie that I would enjoy more.
Yeah, agreed.
Maybe that's more fair.
No,
because
look,
sometimes you don't like something. It's fine, and I can understand it critically. I don't get it this time.
I mean, we're half bickering over semantics at this point. You know what I mean? Like like we all agree this movie isn't great. We all agree this movie's kind of boring. We all agree this movie has plenty of problems. And
I guess part of what I'm bickering is like a 65. A
Yeah, no,
65?
it's-
Oh yeah. No, everyone else is fucking wrong. Don't get me wrong.
No, they're wrong. Yeah. The other part of that is too, though, if you do ever watch The Smashing Machine, and please watch it before you review it. Thank you.
True.
That's the only
True.
rules, the only hard rule that I'll ever say. You can't score something until you actually watch it. Is if you do enjoy it, please
Yeah.
let me know why.
True.
And I will honestly listen to you and tell you that you're wrong, but I will listen to you when you do it.
Well, like,
so,
no, he won't tell you. He'll listen. We'll listen. We'll talk about it.
No,
We will,
who's
wha-
we?
whatever
I think
you
we'll tell you you're
hold
wrong.
on, hold on. Whatever you write in with, we will take to heart. If you do write in, we will take to heart everything you say and try to receive it in the spirit it was meant
You'll
to be
be
received.
judged by the triumvirate.
So, but like, I mean,
God.
the whole thing about like you can tell who reviewed this movie and didn't watch it when the review says I was riveted from start to end.
Yeah, no,
Because
you
like, there's no way,
No,
dog.
you weren't. Bullshit.
Liar.
As he stares out the window on the flight to Japan. Like, buddy, close
Hey,
the fucking window, dickhead.
hey,
You're
can-
not even on the window seat.
Can
You don't get
open
to ask that.
I'd really like to see the sunrise. Like, I just no.
I mean, if you weren't a hulking monster of man, just be like, shut up, dude. Put my fucking AirPods back in. Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
Yep.
Don't speak to me.
I paused Interstellar for this.
Yeah, goddamn.
Jesus.
Well, I get that it's a story more. It's more a story about human relationships than it is about MMA. I totally
Yep.
understand that. I get that. It's a weird angle to explore. Now he didn't Safdie. This is Safdie's vision. It's not Safdie and Mark Kerr's vision. That doesn't happen. Even A24 would have been like, we will take what you say into account, but it stops at the door and we take it the rest of the way, Mark Kerr. That's how it's
Sure.
going to be. No
Yeah.
production company listens to the people who were involved down to a T of maybe some details here and there and maybe he wanted certain characters to come off a certain way. I mean, he obviously didn't care that he didn't come off as a good dude because he doesn't. He comes
Because maybe
he comes off
sees
as a
that
nice guy,
real.
but he doesn't come off as a guy who's in love with his girlfriend or even gives a crap about her at all. Did you guys think he even gave a shit about her?
Most of the
Yeah.
time, no.
I mean,
No.
no, I mean, I felt
Not all of it,
I
but
felt like
most of it.
he thought he cared. He did. He didn't do a good job of showing that. But like
No.
I think it's just that's this relationship.
Sure, and I understand that. It's just I'm a lot of basic filmmaking questions when I'm talking about it. And again, like I know Chris, you probably hated the filming style of this, like the close up, intimate, the roaming cam. I love it. That's just something I love.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if that adds anything to this particular story. That's the thing, is like usually when it's used and like let's call it like the Bourne, that's a story that it basically created that kind of camera movement, so it needs it. But does this story need that kind of all the time cameras in your face, close all the time, that intimate shooting? Maybe because it's a human interest drama, but
Yeah.
I would argue that it probably would have benefited more from a more traditional filming style. But I can say that without seeing it because I'm looking for another product. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah. That's fair.
That's I guess what Roger said is probably the truest thing is, and we'll start our final thoughts here in 1 second. It's just I guess I'm a little angry because I thought I was duped going into this. Is like I see certain elements in place. I see cheese. I saw tomato sauce, cheese, bread, and pepperoni. I didn't get a pizza. What I got was something completely different.
Was it
it's
a bagel bite?
You got a weird. You got a weird sandwich.
I got
That's what you got.
I got a weird.
With the same ingredients.
I got a piece of
Little
dollar
pizza
loaf
Good
sandwich.
stuff, though.
But it's what I'm trying to say is like
Yeah,
it wasn't what I thought they were cooking with. So
Like microwavable French bread pizzas. Remember those things?
Yeah,
Like,
I get those
sometimes
now.
those were good.
Yeah.
But like it had to be cooked like exactly right. Because
Perfectly,
like, look, 10 seconds less or 10 seconds too far is garbage.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, you're going to eat it
Oh yeah.
because I'm a piece of garbage, but still, you're not going to enjoy it.
all right. Final thoughts, then,
All right.
fellas. Take 10 seconds.
So
Final thoughts are I'll start is like I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed as like a parent is in a kid who just did something really stupid. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
So you said exactly what I was gonna say. I'm not mad at this movie. I'm not like I'm not angry. I don't feel like my time got wasted, but I'm disappointed in I'm disappointed in the film. Like it's because I had expectations that were different because that's just kind of and that could be my fault, right? That I had different expectations
Sure.
because it has
No,
The Rock
that's
in it.
fair.
But
Sure.
like you have a movie with MMA in it and you have The Rock casted. I thought maybe there was going to be a more highlight or just more just a more exciting film. And I didn't get that. And I don't think that the artistic side of this film was at high enough caliber level or enough to drive the story to be entertaining for me. So just not entertained enough. I was not entertained. Thank you, Maximus.
My 10 seconds to wrap it up is like, this movie is just boring to me. And, you said it's probably not like a waste of time. I'd argue that it certainly is.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it for me. Like, I will probably never watch this movie again.
No.
And that says a lot for an A24 movie that has The Rock and Emily Blunt about combat sports.
For my brother who only watches our episodes, that when he watches a movie and then goes to see what we talk about it, and he watches every A24 movie that comes out, I'm sorry you watched this. It probably sucked and you're probably mad about it.
Well, I mean, ask him seriously, like, if he does watch it, what he thought. And I mean that, like, not as a joke. If somehow you like it, tell me why.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mean that as like, we'll actually make fun of you for liking this movie. If you really do like this movie, please tell me why. Because I'm not ever going to watch it again. So you get a chance to sway me.
Well, I mean, that's always important. I think it's important to always want to have your mind open to be swayed. That's, that's where we're not right now as a country, but where we should be is, I think that's it. That sums up The Smashing Machine. Is a different movie was expected with all the elements in play. And I think that might be on me for expecting that, but the movie I watched, even separating that from the movie I watched, I still can't justify the product we got with what they had. I just can't.
It's just a very flat movie.
Yep.
All the
It's
way
unfortunate, but
it ain't it, man.
Well, guys, thank you for joining us for episode 50. Sorry it wasn't more exciting.
5-0.
It's like the movie.
I mean, like, look, we talked about good movies in this. Not at the end.
We do talk about good movies.
I would
talk about the movie of the week.
We talk about great movies, indeed. But we'll have more on a breakdown of our favorite movies and why. Maybe a 30-minute episode dedicated to each. I think sometime in the next calendar year. I'm excited to get into that. I'm excited to get into more stuff like that. But we have to have some conversations internally, which, show prep. I know Roger loves the show prep, but
we'll talk to our bosses.
Indeed, we will. Call up Chris. Who do I have a problem with? What's his face? Star-Lord. Chris Pratt. Yeah, call up. He's our boss.
Listen, if Pratt told us to do episode A, B, or C, you would do episode A, B, or C.
I would. If he says tickle my nuts, I would tickle his nuts, of course.
I'm gonna snip that out. God damn, there's your short for the week, boys.
Whoa! All right, that does it for us on episode 50 of Post Credits Podcast, a show where we are lucky enough to talk about movies, and I say truly lucky because I do feel a bit privileged to do this, and I'm glad that I'm getting more audience reaction from my friends that are saying, "Hey, listen to an episode." Sometimes it's like 10 episodes back. I'm getting more and more of that as we've entered the YouTube space. So thank you.
We appreciate you watching.
We certainly do. It is a great honor.
Somebody's watching. I appreciate it.
If you listen to the episode on audio-only service such as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, subscribe to us there. But also head over to YouTube, subscribe to us there. But don't just subscribe, smash that like button and subscribe button on YouTube. Turn us on while you're doing whatever you are in the background. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. What are we talking about next week?
We don't tell the audience what we watch next week.
We're going to talk about Tron.
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 Maybe Tron.
We'll double dip.
It's going to be Tron. Yeah.
One last thing, as the sole curator of our YouTube page, I will answer you if you say things, and I will answer for the group. So
God.
if you have a question for Chris or Grayson, I will answer for them.
Yeah.
Just remember, I have that kind of power.
Oh God.
It's a power that I wield. That I wield.
All right, we're out.